All right, welcome everybody to session 15 of Day of the Damned. Right, is enthusiastic. 15, yeah.
Welcome. Last we left off, Athoif returned home, delivered his report. I believe we said May was busy providing catering for the wedding. Everyone else was doing stuff around the wedding or working on weapons projects or other things.
Yep, and there was a meeting called about the wedding about a week or so before the wedding began. Maybe
Yes.
2 weeks. 2 weeks, yeah.
After Sean and Sabina had a discussion.
Yep.
You had your meetings. It is a day away from the wedding, and
No.
rehearsals. Like, oh, do you want to do something during the meeting?
Yeah. Wolfsadler. Yeah.
Ew.
No, I mean, if the two of them want to do each other, as long as they don't do it on the open channel,
Right. George is spending 100 gold on extra alcohol and food for the guests.
just bring it in as a present.
Oh, I thought we were skipping this.
Although it is kind of insulting to May to assume she can't cover the catering.
It's not going to be enough.
You're insulting 2 merchants at once.
Yeah, that's a bad
George will
idea.
stare at them with his non-existent eyes as he wheels in the cart full of booze.
There's already a fountain of wine set up somewhere.
Now then, I believe Wolfsadler had something he wanted to do.
Yes.
Yep, during the meeting of the king and the groom's family. That'd be the bride. Difficult
Whatever.
to say which. Yeah.
Actually, they're both the groom. Somehow.
Both grooms.
No. That's pretty gay.
Yes.
Yes. I see you've noticed the predicament your character is in.
It's going to get worse.
Anyways,
Oh, no.
what is happening?
Okay.
Maybe Athoif should set up like a God Hates Fags protest or something.
You have a group of harpies you know are particularly bored without anything to do around.
Absolutely.
Wait, would the harpies understand that they're also fags? Per capita.
Well, see, if he sets up the Absolute hates fags, they're not part of the Absolute's domain, so they don't care.
Well, hang on. We can just go to a temple and ask the gods. They speak to us.
Yeah, but who cares about the gods?
Okay, they are the only reason we exist at the moment.
No?
Figs.
She says, absolutely friends with one. Who cares about the gods?
No, they literally are. We would not have been revived without the help of the goddess of death.
You would not have been revived without.
You
You would not have been revived without a Braxis. You would not have been revived without a Braxis, and he would fucking kill you if you called him a god.
Yeah,
He's not. No,
Karis had nothing to do with the revival.
Of course she did.
Also,
No, okay.
Also,
we helped
who
revive
gives a fuck what
Karis.
God think? We just spent the past month or something dealing with one of their stupid identity crises.
That wasn't a real god. That was a half god, not a real god. It's a liar, fake god.
It was a full.
Yeah, and he's
it was full.
God.
Actually, it was a full god, full man. That was the
I
problem.
know a lot of gods. Okay.
He wanted to.
And he's less
Oh, I like
rich
that.
than most of the other gods.
He wanted to de-god himself.
Out of all the
Shameful display.
gods, this may be the worst.
Oh,
Anyways.
with Chinese factory menus where they get de-god.
No, hold on, no. The sad part is that out of all the gods, that's not the worst.
No, the daemons aren't gods.
Yeah, the gods are pathetic.
The gods never
May-
did us dirty. Aside from the Absolute. The Absolute did. The others
The gods
were
never
fine.
did. The gods
What
never
the
did us
fuck are you
dirty,
talking
except
about?
for the fact we tried to lie to Amos, and also Karis kind of wants us dead, and also the Absolute's identity crisis, and also Octo's kind of pretending to be a god.
Alright, look, the gods never did George dirty.
You died, didn't you?
As a result of being on the battlefield, he was prepared for it. Just didn't want it to happen so soon.
Anyways,
Okay. John walks
we
up.
keep getting sidetracked.
John
Yes.
walks up to the gathering. It says, after a discussion I had with dear Sabina Callisto here, motions towards her, it has come to my... I had the idea that perhaps the... How do I word this?
The natural -2 speech check.
Very, very carefully. I don't know what you two are planning, but you word it very carefully.
John shakes her head, clears it. Okay. Sabine, whatever, doesn't want to lose to her sister in any contest. I'm marrying her sister. That is not something I'm going back on. So, as a compromise, I put the idea in the room that I'm marrying both of them. Any complaints?
Or I would complain instantly. Fuck do you mean? Why wasn't I consulted about this?
Well,
Finally
if you say
got a
no-
good thing, and now finally got a good thing, and then Sabina comes along, tries to ruin it because she has to be Miss Perfect. No, fuck you.
Isn't there someone you forgot to ask?
Right?
Literally.
John just sighs.
Aura storms
okay.
off.
No, John grabs her, holds her back. Aura, if you say no, I'm only going to marry you. Is there any way I can make it that you agree?
Pretty sure the answer is gonna be no here. I'm just thinking about how Aura would respond to this. Probably very unkindly.
I'm surprised you didn't attack John.
She's in polite company.
I'm surprised you didn't attack John.
Being her father and the king.
Well, the only reason her father didn't kill Chun on the spot was because the king's there. And the only reason the king didn't do it is because he can't be seen murdering one of his trusted friends.
Well, okay. I have
That
no
was
real-
that was a hell of an implication.
What implication?
Just deciding to marry
No.
both of them.
No, that. What implication do you mean?
I mean, look.
She has never slept with Sabina.
I don't think there was any implication. It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
true.
there's
It was
nothing
very
straight
straightforward.
about it.
It was forward, okay?
It was pretty gay forward.
In any case,
Men who get in the way of Yuri don't live long. George is keeping his jaw, his mandibles shut.
in any case, Aura says no and goes off to get drunk and rethink the entire wedding, I think.
John shrugs towards Sabina and follows Aura.
That was an oddity.
Sabina, Carr is glaring daggers at you. Not saying anything, but you can feel that he is disappointed.
He like one of the only people out there that doesn't have the right to judge him for this.
The problem is that she sprung it a week before the wedding.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Also, he met all of his wives individually. That's an entirely different matter.
Okay, I thought
Just
this
no
was
one
like
believes that.
0 days before. That's
No.
that's
No,
marginally better.
No.
Okay.
Not by much. Not really.
I said marginally. Very slightly
Well,
marginally better.
at that meeting, of course, Sabina would request her own private dismissal for a moment.
You would be dismissed. The rest of the room is left in confusion, befuddlement.
Sabina would only return some minutes later, having chased after neither of the other two.
I'm just trying to think about how. All right, Sabina would get caught, and well, her parents would have words with her. They expected better, honestly.
Sabina would speak truthfully and say that she made no demands of Chun to marry her. Well,
The people Sabina would be. The people Sabina would be.
She did speak about how there was some recent distress because of the possibility of once losing to Aura. She did not say that she demanded to be married.
I'm just thinking the people you're trying to bullshit here would be Sabina's parents. They know damn well what you're like.
Well, yeah. Sabina is not a creature that sleeps around or gets drunk frequently.
Yes, and your sister is, and she's finally doing something good for the realm and the family. And what do? You almost fucking sabotage it. Hell, it's a question whether wedding's still on because of.
Sabina would say, "Well, do you propose I speak to either of them at this point?"
I think you've done quite enough speaking, young lady.
Seems like a job for Athoif.
Well, Chun would try to talk to Aura.
Yep. Aura is mad at you, drinking heavily, more heavily than usual.
Chun takes a detour, brings the alcohol she bought. Okay. It's kind of went better than expected. You didn't attack me.
Well, now that you're in a private space, you probably will.
You don't comprehend what she's saying because of all the crying and drinking that's happening.
Aw, how sweet.
Chun sighs, sits down next to her. Look, I merely offered Sabina to float the idea before you and your parents. If you or any of them had said no, I would have said no to her as well. You are more important in this situation to me.
Hmm. Give me a speed check here.
Is it still -2? I think so.
Well,
you had
minus
it.
one because you have the chest plate.
Right.
Yes. God, you haven't succeeded 3 speech checks yet?
Jesus.
That's a no. She's very much upset.
Have you
Should
considered
I hear what I-
hero
The mention of this being your idea does make her madder at you. Fortunately for your corporeal stability, she's currently in the sad and upset drunk mode, not the rampaging murderer drunk mode.
She's getting better.
It may have been better for her to be in a rampaging mood.
Okay. How do I handle this?
Kiss her, drag her into the bedroom.
That only works when she's angry. Not sad.
Exactly.
So slap her, kiss her, drag her into the bedroom.
Okay. Sean stands up. Where are we right now? In some random room?
This meeting was called where? It was probably called in the capital if...
Yep.
Yep.
The meeting probably took place within Car's office, and most people split up in there.
Yeah, you would have found Aura in a tea room somewhere,
Okay.
away from prying eyes.
Chun looks for a knife. Is there any knife there? Or sharp object?
There's butter knives. There's I mean, not really much. Not really many sharp things in a room like this.
Even a letter opener or something like that?
This isn't a letter reading room. It's a tea drinking room. In
Sure.
fact, I'm gonna say the sharpest thing you can find is a butter knife for spreading butter on assorted
Wow, if
pastries.
it's a tea room, it'd have to be like an eating knife, something like for fruits, cutting up apples and such.
They bring those out when they bring out the fruit. No need to keep it in the room.
The
Well, there's
sharpest
2
thing may
fruits
actually
in
be
there at the
Aura's
moment.
claws.
Okay,
The
Chun walks over.
sharpest thing in the room is very much not Chun.
That's true. Chun walks over to a window, smashes it, grabs a piece of broken glass, sits down next to Aura, and holds it against her own throat. Look, if you're that
Damn.
angry, just ram it in.
Damn,
I mean, not like that.
damn, that is a hell of a way to handle someone being upset at you.
So, what
Chun isn't the
character
most
you gonna roll
rational
up
person.
now?
This-
You have just questioned a femoid with the.
Wait, that's not massively insincere, because you could just respawn.
exactly. And
But
she
it's
knows you
going
can
to-
respawn too.
It does
Still
still
going to
hurt.
hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Besides you're into it, considering you're
If you're this upset, you can mildly inconvenience me.
Yeah.
Well, it's several miles away.
It's the thought that counts.
She's not gonna kill you. She is still very much upset though, and says she needs to think, and decides to jump out the window that you so
Broken
conveniently
window.
broke open for her.
I imagine now one of the maids outside the room responds to the sound of broken glass.
Yeah, like.
Hmm, probably.
Anyways,
Options
wait a
like
few
day,
days and
therefore.
talk to her again.
You don't wait a few days, you wait an day.
In any case, she Aura fucked off.
This word of this go around.
The parents and the parents and well, no, because it was said in private. But
Well,
the
if that
parents and
isn't said
Car are discussing what the fuck to do with the wedding now. Is it even still on?
George's gonna look at Sabina and say, that was stupid of you.
Was George there? And not in his forge?
Was George there?
No clue what George is.
I mean, if it was a meeting for everyone, then he would have been there. But
I think it was
It's
a
not
family
fair, this.
meeting for the wedding.
is George family?
No,
See,
he doesn't want to be. Unless you have some spider girls in your lineage.
There are.
They all technically have spider girls in their lineage because of Car, in a roundabout way.
See if George can't find himself a nice redhead when he refleshes.
Simona.
When he loses the adamantine. Well, anyway.
No, the adamantine would still be there. If anything, his bones would only be harder.
Okay.
Anyway, Bright, what would it be
Sorry.
for Sabina to find her sister? Preferably not in a dark alleyway.
What's your knowledge history? Specifically for your personal history.
Knowledge, personal history, 0.
Let's see. Just give me a roll. Let's see if you you could think of where Aura might run off to. Nope, not a chance in hell do you know where she is.
Okay,
I mean, who even is this sister person?
Okay,
Why is she so upset? I mean, I suppose you can.
Yeah. So where would Sabina find Aura?
Probably drinking with the rest of the rejects, led by Talon.
Wait,
He's
why would Talon be a reject? He has a loving wife waiting for him at home.
he still led the band of rejects during the tournament.
No. I mean,
They
why is he
didn't
why is he not chained up in the basement at that home?
What I'm saying is that he's currently I believe he might still be out of country actually, because this is 2 weeks before the wedding.
Yeah, so he'd still be in the Republic with
Yeah.
River.
He's still in the Republic, but D and Elza definitely aren't.
I know.
And you know they frequented. You know they frequented this old pub place where nobody really asked about why they look like nobles.
Like just a trio of nobles is there, and then Sabina shows up, and then they're asking why a noble's here.
Exactly.
3 nobles walk into a bar.
Well,
The bar is arrested for violence upon the upper classes.
Well, Sabina's going to be illusioned to look more like a more common wolf person. Cloak looks common. Right. Her under armor is well covered. Her hair is brown instead of silver. And she enters, finding where Aura is. What's her current state? Is she still in drunken, rambling, crying mode?
How long has it been? She is in drunken, crying, rambling mode, being comforted by D. Elzit is sort of awkwardly there.
Sabina awkwardly approaches the table and asks Elzid, the most cogent.
Hold on,
member
hold
of,
on. As you approach, you feel yourself being pulled away from the table.
I see.
You can notice in Elzid's hands that he's doing some sort of weird wire trick.
Crosses arms,
Yeah.
his eyes.
He stands
at him.
up and goes over to you, not disturbing the other two.
Hello, you must be Mr. Elzid, am I correct?
You are. I've heard plenty about you.
Oh, even disguised as I am. How flattering.
Well, the fact that you were beelining it for this table made it somewhat obvious.
Well, it's impossible for me to feel somewhat bad about this entire affair.
Are you suggesting that you're the one who's feeling it bad through all this? Has this mildly inconvenienced your highness? Not to put too fine a point on it, but this entire bar would back us in a fight. Don't make me cause one.
Sabina sighs and says, "If I was afraid of being wounded here, I wouldn't have come at all. I know fairly well who my sister is, and I'm pretty sure she can make her own wounds, not depend on you folk."
I'd prefer she not have to, in the state she's in. And I'm pretty sure she'd prefer not to see you.
Sabina would think for a moment. Well, truly, I myself am having difficulty imagining how to make things better. I still want to make the attempt, poor sister that I am.
Hmm. I doubt you can.
For a while, I didn't make the suggestion. It was still the conversation that I had that led to this.
Hmm.
Alright, has told me enough about your side of the family. You didn't have to make a suggestion, did you? You just mentioned something in passing to a person who's susceptible at the moment, and they think it's their idea, all of their own.
While I would wish to argue further and contest things, due to the people that are saying such were not in the room at the point, it's not quite helpful for you or her for me to do such a thing, would it?
If you want to apologize, I'd recommend trying to talk to her when she's of a more stable mind.
As long as it's this very week and not a week later, tell me the time and place where I might find her in such a state.
We'll try to convince her to go back home eventually.
I would prefer to go to a place where she feels like she can set the terms. To express my sincerity. If she thinks home is that place, then so be it.
If you want her to set the scene, best you can do is wait for her to talk to you, I guess. Though I don't suppose she's particularly keen on doing that at the moment.
Yeah, well, we'll at least let her know that I went chasing after her as well.
I'll think about it.
That's surely all I can ask for, Sir Alzid.
You feel the string suddenly begin dragging you towards the exit of the bar.
I believe my feet can work just fine on their own.
he doesn't respond. You get dragged to the door of the bar and you feel the threads detach.
She brushes herself off of any hitherto unseen spider webs before sighing. Hate that part of the family.
Well, I'm gonna say a day or two passes with or on a bender. She comes back.
She's already been.
Get help.
Please get help.
I'm not wrong.
I think everyone in this situation needs to get help.
Yeah.
You can't
Me
tell
most of-
me
me
I'm
most-
right.
Me most of all for enabling this. Anyways,
Yeah.
Like I said, drama.
drama. Anyways, let's see. Do you try to find the Aura, Chen?
It's the next day, right?
Or at least next
Yeah.
few days.
It's she hasn't come back home yet.
Well, in that case, yes. Let's try to find her.
You spend some time looking through the various bars she dragged you through until you finally stumble upon her.
Okay. How do we approach this?
Well, you can see that she's no longer crying, and you recognize the emotion she's currently feeling as seething.
Yeah, makes sense. Chan approaches.
Oopsies.
She doesn't notice you at first. She looks up from her 1,000-yard stare.
Okay. How do we approach this? Should I just blame everything on Sabina?
Give up.
Okay. John approaches.
April Fools. Go with that.
That's a bad idea. That's a horrific idea.
Because
roll,
they
Chen
didn't use the
approaches,
monkey.
he reaches out her
Cheap
hand.
aura.
Aura immediately grabs it and throws her over the
Joy
table.
buzzer.
you see a roughly wolf girl shaped missile approaching.
Ah, in that mood.
Okay. Let her approach then.
Roll to dodge if you don't want to suffer the attack. She got an 11.
It wasn't a crit.
Except your brutal injuries.
Unless she
You know
counts
what?
herself as a projectile for the purpose of Hawkeye.
You know what? I'll take it.
Let's see, you're wearing the birdie light armor.
Yep.
Which I believe has a 3 in the hit threshold thing, right?
I believe so.
I believe that would just kill you outright if you don't don't
Really?
do something about it.
Oh, in that case,
That much damage.
Not doing anything about an attack does make the attack very very good.
Damn, she's going up for the follow-ups too.
Actually, hold on. You would barely survive because you have some armor. But
Yeah,
you can tell she has hammering.
Oh, she's actually trying to kill Chun.
I'm getting that
that-
idea from the armor being the only reason she didn't die.
Yeah, in that case, puts 6 key into a shield and disable the divine flames for now.
All right, she ends up roughing you up.
Fair.
She considers going for another swing, but with a lot of venom, says, "What do you want?"
Make amends.
I think that would just make her angry, to be honest.
Okay.
So,
What can I do to make you feel better?
Good thing to ask a woman.
Look, Chan is an idiot in that regard.
We can tell.
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Look, I see the strategy now. Just reminding Aura of the reasons why they love each other.
That's going to kill Chan.
You. To think I was getting excited about this wedding.
I know I am a fool.
But really, Sabina, of all people.
She is quite good at talking. And I'm quite bad at dealing with family stuff, considering I left mine behind.
quite good at talking. Fucking. That's why I hate her.
Okay,
Just
do
like
you...
just like Mom in that regard.
Yes, you did mention that you disliked most of your family, including your mother.
And with this wedding thing, they were finally off my ass about well, most things. Suddenly, I was the golden child, getting a big political alliance.
Chance goes, look, the alliance is set in stone before that. They were just after prestige. What do you want?
I don't know anymore. I thought I wanted to get married. Now I'm not so sure you want to.
Well, I do actually, but if you do feel uncomfortable with me being a bit easy to manipulate by sweet talkers, I can understand if you wish to think about this.
Hmm. Let's see. What would she see? What would she think about all of this? She'd probably be seething.
Most likely, yes.
She'd probably be plotting Sabina's death.
Yeah.
She figures plotting your death is a lost cause, considering you can just come back. You know what? Give me a roll to see if you can convince her that you still actually want the wedding.
What kind of role?
Speech.
Come on, Jesus.
All right.
Enough.
She's.
A good old mid roll.
It's a mid roll.
What if I were to
She's,
hear that?
All right. If you hear her that, you can convince her.
Yeah, let's do that then.
All right. She's convinced, but she needs some time to think about it.
Fair enough.
It's probably too late to cancel the wedding anyways. But she's definitely setting down some ground rules. Such as no banging anyone else, including Sabina, even if she shapeshifts into me.
You were my first and only.
And that's how it should stay.
I mean, that was the plan, yes.
All in all, this has been a completely valid crash out.
True. Very real, very true.
Very real Chun crash out.
I might be willing to accept war trophies if they're agreed upon beforehand.
A little bit of raping towards you.
My system fucked up. I'll be back in a second.
I see. So Chin's getting a similar understanding to what George did.
Only a small amount of raping and pillaging. Well, Car didn't look. Car's a special case. He didn't have and pillage. I mean, he tried, but he couldn't.
It's embarrassing.
Everyone he tried to kidnap for the raping part turns out
Come back.
turns out like him.
entirely consensual, yeah. The one way to stop a rapist is to say yes.
Now, Carl was like picking himself up to be the evil. Like he had the chains, like the whole interrogation room set up with a dirty mattress and everything. And they get in there and they're just like, "Oh yeah, sure." And just so defeated.
They fucking say harder.
He's just, like afterwards, like they're the one having the smoke, and he's just sat there, just head in his hands, just thinking about his decisions. He's like, "What did I go wrong? Why does this keep happening?"
All right. Chun and Aura spend the rest of the time before the wedding patching things up.
Were there any more ground rules?
Roll medicine.
As for more ground rules, I'm sure you came up with a list. A lot of them involve not talking to Aura.
Sabina?
Oh, right, not talking to Sabina while drunk or poisoned.
Your wife says, "Don't speak to me once we are married. I'll break the ground rules. It'll be over." That's one hell
The
of
only
a
type
prenup.
The only type of violence allowed against Sabina is with intent to kill.
Yeah, pretty sure Carl might have some words against that.
Nah, he can just get another apprentice.
Sure.
Yeah, but she's useful.
George,
In any
just
case,
poking out of a window.
Okay.
Oh, one last rule. She gets a lock for the Aura's grip collar you have.
Damn.
Oh, it came with a lock.
Ah, Birdie. You know, Aura really likes you, Birdie.
The only thing that's missing is
He's not at a chain.
if
She'll get a
George
chain.
is asked,
At least not in public.
he'll forge a steel chain.
In any case,
Actually, he'll make it out of high quality magic metal, so you can't break through it.
some more
Real.
time passes. This whole debacle is resolved.
In fact, actually, Bright, this isn't with magic metal. There you go. They now have a 7 quality steel chain.
One chain steel.
That'll be George's wedding gift to Aura.
In any case, where was I? Ah, yes. Aura and Sabina are not on speaking terms anymore.
Were they before?
At least slightly.
Meh.
It was tense.
And she's not
it
even
wasn't
reaching out.
downright hostile.
She is in fact not reaching yet.
I guess she's uninvited to the wedding.
She can't officially uninvite you due to she can't officially uninvite you due to this wedding being a sort of big political event, but you are definitely not welcome there.
Figuring that's where that was going.
So Athoif, how long until you decide to turn into Sabina during the wedding?
Like, I'm not gonna say that wasn't already something he thought of, but but no, he had different ideas.
Anyway, time passes, and it's the day before the wedding. The final rehearsal is happening.
Because
Hold on.
Damn, nice stained glass.
neat.
Yeah.
The party
Why are they
was
all wolves?
invited because it's a wolf church run by wolves.
Do they
Well,
like
with
have their
wolf
own
god.
gods?
This is quite the rough
It's not a god.
situation to be in.
Anyway, the party is invited to participate.
Those balls there are. Why?
What balls?
Yeah, someone there, I think is connected to balls that's actively fucking up the hitboxes.
That is amusing.
Mm,
Fortunately, May has the social sense to know that ominously hovering is probably not the correct thing to do. Unfortunately, the floor may not agree.
Yeah. Well, we'll just say that we're actually sat down.
Truly.
yes, you all
Just
all
George
sit down.
clank, clank,
Whoever
clank,
decides
clank.
whoever decides to show up, which I'm just going
Oh.
to say doesn't include Steric and Amaryllis.
You doing alright, Carl?
I'm glad you could make it. Yes, glad's the word.
Yes. Sure.
How's the you know what? We can discuss business after the ceremony. He says, feeling two sets of claws grip him when he starts talking slightly too loudly.
So, how bad is the sunshine through these windows?
It's enough to
Wild.
illuminate the place.
Is it enough to singe me?
Definitely, I'll advise to take off your helmet in here.
Alright. Oh look, Sally's boyfriend.
I'm pretty sure he would you disagree with that statement.
Oh, he would.
But Sally wouldn't.
Uh-huh.
Is Sally even alive? Has anyone even heard from her in like the past
I've no
month?
fucking clue. I've not heard a word.
No,
I've
I
seen
haven't
no
either.
proof of
I've messaged
this.
her a few times asking if she's alright.
She perished in the Great Fire.
Okay,
The
we can
Great Fire?
mediocre at best.
Also, it's very polite to.
So are there
belt
implications of the
columns in the walkway?
Are there any implications of the fact that May's probably dressed up like it's a funeral with the sunlight?
Well, one colors are black.
You would not be the weirdest person there.
Oh
Fucking
god.
Elzid came in upper armor, not showing his face.
Alzid has trouble removing the armor.
Not that
And
May
George
wouldn't.
can't because he wants to be alive. Or unalive.
May would very much appreciate being able to show her face. There's just a minor issue of
The sun.
surviving it.
Yeah. In
Why
any
can't these
case,
functions be held at night?
as the really, if it was just wolves attending, they would be, but can't really hold a low light ceremony for those who can't see in the dark.
I mean, you could.
I mean,
In any case, as you're quietly arguing amongst yourselves, making a mockery of the very notion of wedding rehearsals, a loud noise is heard outside.
Damn.
That was loud.
Indeed. Was that music or a sound effect? Because if it's music, I
Oh,
have to
no.
turn that down.
What the fuck?
Why would they have trumpeters
Run
for this
birthday
engagement?
Why is the compact here?
Hold on.
I
They
can imagine what
file
they're
in.
here for.
The lot
And
of them
it's-
file in through the. Why isn't the snapping thing working out when I move them? That's so annoying.
because the snapping thing's
Snapping's
not on.
off.
Let me just turn it on.
Also, they should have
for
brought more men.
purposes.
They're gonna have a tough fight.
Unfortunately for them, they came in when a few people were in a bad mood.
Your backs all turned to the messenger who floods in with a cadre of unwelcome people.
Pretty
George,
sure we
uh,
heard the loud
George,
noise.
Some of you would recognize them as compact soldiers.
George,
The man clad in yellow.
Step out.
The man clad in yellow steps forward, unfurls a scroll.
Well, he's not a king, so it's safe.
Sabina's gonna use a cantrip and vanish.
The Sovereign Council of the Compact, acting in the defense of law, justice, and common dignity for all free humans, hereby declare Car Callisto and his associates guilty of repeated crimes against the Compact and its people. These crimes include, but are not limited to, unprovoked acts of war, conspiracy against sovereignty, political assassination. You stab him as he's speaking?
Yes.
Gloam render.
No. Let him finish.
I let him finish and then I stab him. Okay, fine, go on.
Political assassinations, crimes against humanity, and breach of accord. We come bearing a warrant for the arrest of all involved individuals. Any attempt to obstruct the execution of this warrant shall henceforth be considered a formal declaration of war against the Compact, and the Compact shall have no choice but to respond in kind.
Okay, then I kill him.
All right. I suppose roll it.
Come on, do the one hit. 110 kill. Let's go. You know it's great that only people in this room are combatants. That there's no civilians.
All right, that's a 9. Is that the backstabbing?
Yes.
All right, yeah, that's a dead messenger because the policy in Willen is always stab the messenger, right?
No, that's just Athoif's personal policy.
Yeah. See, what I'm about to do is going to be a lot more entertaining. So George sees the messenger stabbed, and Cleve.
Are you just going to start murdering messengers on the wedding rehearsal?
I'm pretty certain this was just provoking an act of war anyway. Because they're
Yeah.
trying to arrest the sovereign king of a
They
nation.
said, well, they literally said they were here to attack us, so I mean, can you really say Athoif was in the wrong?
Listen, they were just here to. They were just here
He
to.
literally was here to capture us.
They were just here to enact justice, and you guys are all wanton outlaws.
Where the fuck is any of where the fuck are all Willen's guards for this dress rehearsal involving the royal
Shit.
family?
I don't
They
believe
were-
anyone
they-
in this room.
They were being let through on account of the fact that they were fucking messengers with a message for the king.
I don't
Yeah, no,
believe
that was
anyone alive on this side of this line is an outlaw in this nation.
Anyway, you cleave through. Or you? Hold on, roll it.
I did.
He did.
11.
What did you get? An 11. All right.
I was one off it being a 2 attacks.
So you're just hitting all of them.
Yeah, just cleave attack, and because it's the ranged cleave, it only blocks it for the individual.
Yes. These
Just have
guys.
musculature, so it does an extra point.
These guys don't get a chance to resist it. So hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There should be 6 plus 1.
It is.
Oh, this is mine.
Yeah, they can have armor.
But did
Oh yeah,
they
no,
block-
they don't. Yeah, that's just 7 damage.
Yeah, I've just taken out all of their toughness.
Meanwhile, the wizards all cast pentacles on themselves. Specifically, a 6, a queen, and a prince.
Oh, so they're fine.
With 2 shields remaining.
And the guys behind them don't get hit because the wizard in front of them blocked it, and it is a cleave attack.
Yep.
Alright, and then I with my spare arm, I will toss a Brimheart.
Hey,
What more?
And Brimheart.
In a closed space. Okay, roll it.
Is that like a grenade?
Yes.
It's a grenade flower that he got from a merchant in the
That's
Empire, from
the
what
thing.
I recall.
What's the radius of it again?
You can do 9 squares.
Will it be
lands
on the
right there.
hook for the stained glass?
Shouldn't blow those out. It will scorch the rug though, and the floor.
Pretty certain it's an
All right.
incendiary.
Roll it.
I did.
What did I say the stats of those were?
You didn't.
Believe I meant them to have like 4 damage total.
No, I was gonna say there were 2 damage.
I know the inflicted burning.
You all see George, well, some of you, I imagine, see George pull out a weird flower, toss it into the group, and the flower erupts, its petals turning hard and repelling like shrapnel from the center.
I see.
Okay.
These wizards... this one would take full. And this one would take 2. The knights... No. No.
Hey,
Alright. The knight gets slapped for a bit.
now the ranges.
Let me just do something here real quick. Roll.
Yeah, initiative now, isn't it?
Oh, I'm just doing something real quick for them. All right. The Rangers are rather unfortunate with those rolls.
Well,
Oh.
The blast. You know what? I'm just gonna say it just outright killed them.
Hell yeah.
because the trauma it would have inflicted to them is the equivalent of a shrapnel grenade, which you're just not surviving that.
Losing limbs, losing heads,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
bleeding out mostly.
A reminder that George did have more, but he initially had a couple put away for reproduction.
So
How are you
one is
Unfortunately.
one is just
We-
your party favorite.
cultivating? You mean?
Yes, I have 2 left that I can use. I did have 5 that I bought. And 2 are currently being used to make more.
Anyway.
Initiative?
Well,
As a
You
last
sort
thing,
of
could I
an-
activate the amulet?
no, you cannot. It is a bonus action to do that, from what I recall, and
Alright, fair enough.
also, yeah. I mean, I guess roll your initiative, but I figured the rest of you were preparing something.
Well, I mean, if you want me to just unleash, yeah, I can unleash. Where is
Go right ahead.
deck? All right. Using the King of Wands with the Fool and activating Replicate Me. She's gonna send them all back to whence they came.
Wait, I thought we were doing initiative.
It's ice magic.
Well,
So what? She's just going to send him home?
What, corpses and all?
Corpses and all, they're all going.
Alright.
you see the corpses pick themselves up, and the rest of the party, or the rest of the group, decide to obey the order and just leave.
Yeah, we didn't interfere with any any police action. They're just going home.
They had a nasty run-in with some weird skeleton. Not our fault. Necromancy is illegal in Welland.
Yeah.
Cough, cough.
It is.
Is it?
Hey, look, they
Since
don't
when?
know that we're skeletons. We're both fully covered to protect ourselves from the sun's harmful rays.
In any case, they fuck off, and you just sort of let them.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
it's the guard that kind of
Okay,
let them
I
at this
guess.
point.
George will rush over and try and stomp out some of the fires.
John just stares for a moment before trying to continue the rehearsal.
Or is just like super fucking done with everything. Nothing in this wedding's going right, and now the compact wants a piece.
Sabina just meekly bows her head when she sits back down.
How far are they going to get with that magic?
Well, considering I
Um,
just hit them with what, 16 magnitude? Don't know.
16 hours of war.
How did you hit them with 16 magnitude?
Replicate me.
Okay, but in what time to do it?
She had an illusion set up, and then she did the thing.
So I guess they walk for 16
In
hours
any case-
straight.
Nah, 16 hours is insane, honestly. They walk a decent chunk out of the church, and upon realizing what happened, they figure
Is- 'cause I was
that's
gonna
good enough
say,
for them, and
Hold on.
that's good enough for
I was
them, and they're
gonna-
going home.
Because
Sabina would,
the reason I was asking about how far they were going to go, knowledge-wise, because I was probably going to follow them.
Yeah.
Well, they go back across the border. Do you keep following them across the border?
Well, I figured as soon as they were outside of city limits, I wanted the ones that weren't dead to be properly dead.
Well, you could always raise the ones that are dead, have them
I'm
kill, and
pretty-
then get rid of them.
I am almost certain the compact expects them all dead anyway.
Yes, but we have more uses for them, probably.
I mean, if
For
they
what it's-
disappear, we
for
can
what it's
claim,
worth-
no,
For what it's worth, May is the only one who's following them right now. And I'm pretty sure you do not want to be caught out against the group of 6 tier 3s by yourself.
In the sunlight.
Yes.
I mean, if you inform Bertie you're going along to stop them, he'll go
Yeah.
with
I mean, I'd be
Right.
happy to help.
So, right. So what I'll say is, we should probably follow up on that. I'm
All right.
going after them.
Help.
Athoif
Yeah,
and Birdie, we're
Gotta
gonna
keep
come
you
along
safe anyway, so...
as soon as they're outside of somewhere. It'll be a scene.
Can we just
Shall we
send a
finish them
messenger
off?
to city gates to stop the compact before they leave the city?
Yeah.
By the
Not
time
like
they,
a teleport.
by the time your magic runs out, they all send their own personal messenger birds.
Damn.
Yes.
Well, we didn't
But do they
manage to
get to the
catch
point?
them.
They didn't get to a point where it wouldn't be a scene. The three of us finishing them.
They didn't even
Before
get this. They didn't even get out of the city before the spell ended.
Okay, if
well-
the spell's gonna end that soon, then we're killing them in the streets.
Yeah.
1 minute 30 seconds then if we're doing standard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really
Alright,
major
so-
arcana tier, is it?
So
That's
we
just a-
follow
that's just a
them
standard
for a
ones,
minute.
really.
And 30 seconds.
I'm pretty sure 16 turns of you deciding what they do is major arcana tier.
Right,
Six
16
Yeah.
turns.
So-
We could catch up within that, and George can just start hacking away at them as they walk.
Right, we catch
mean-
up with them and then murder them.
You can have a
Yeah.
fight in the street, but they already sent off the birds.
No, I mean, not while they're just fleeing. They were told to
while
go
they're
home, not go
walking,
home,
George
send
is just
birds,
gonna-
and do whatever they fucking
Yeah,
please in the meantime.
while they're going home, George is just quite happy to walk alongside them and start cutting off heads.
Murder.
Okay, as soon as the wedding ceremony is not being disrupted by this, they are dying.
Yeah.
Let's put it that
We're
way.
not waiting for the spell to wear off.
I mean, how long do you
We're all
spend?
known for being polite about letting people do what they want instead of murdering them.
Yeah, he is obvious. Anyways, how long?
No, normally he is, but they've interrupted a wedding and declared war. They're
How
long are you
bastards.
I'm saying you're sitting in that fucking wedding for at least a bit, because you don't want to disrupt it, right?
Okay, so you're just
No,
saying,
I don't
no,
really
I
think
need
it's
this to
this.
happen.
Well,
I don't
they,
remember.
they
No,
kind
I
of
don't.
they've already kind of disrupted it by just killing the guys there on the spot. I don't
Yeah.
think it's that much to. I mean,
I
Sabina
threw
can
a
stay,
flower grenade.
stay back because I already said that Sabina sat back down. But
Yeah, Sabina.
George
Sabina sat
was
back
in.
there.
Yeah, George was in fighting mode, as was Athoif.
You know what? George
George
Athoif and May
They are right on
rushed
their
down. George Athoif and May rushed them down.
And-
You can see them through the stained glass windows, just charging after this group of people.
And before the spell ends, none of you are casters, so the magician doesn't matter for you. Does the Empress matter for the two of you?
Empress. What's effects of that again?
This Empress embodies Mother of Nature, a beautiful being that brings abundance and nurture, but tragedy upon those reliant on her fruits.
Yeah,
I-
the effects
I don't know what
within the
you guys have been doing.
rules.
Beauty, nurturing, and abundance.
Abundance.
Are dependent
Abundance
on
of speed.
I could just do that with regular wands if we just want to buff that.
Reverse dependence
Hang on.
on others. They're
George
dependent
will
on
offer-
Birdie to head home.
George will
No,
offer
no, no,
a-
just-
a-
just-
a
just
hand
shit- just-
you will
just keep
charge
the-
like a steed.
You know what? No, we're not fucking with.
Just keep the Empress for tomorrow. That way you can cast dependence on others on the two when they get married.
We're not fucking with major arcana here. Right.
All right.
Well,
Well, hang on. George will lend down a hand to you, May, and just offer you a ride on the back.
As he gallops
Sure.
away.
Literally.
All right. So,
Well, you run them down in the streets. I'm not even gonna have you roll any combat because they don't stand a chance against you.
Okay.
Right.
Yay!
all right.
Like
You
on a
So
return
good
to
time.
the wedding, blood-soaked.
Hold on. So we're just gonna say they're dead. All right. Give me a hand bringing them into the what is this building called behind the church? Not a morgue. What is
Mausoleum?
it? Mausoleum.
This is a wedding.
Right.
She's gonna make them fucking vampires.
Yes. I'm going to raise the messenger and tell him that he's going to be of use to us if he wants his second life to continue very much longer.
I'm all for that. They're enemy combatants. They have no rights.
You raise him. Do you explain to him what he is?
No, I just tell him you're going to be of use to us if you wish for your life to continue much longer.
Shouldn't you explain the basics so he's not, instantly incinerated?
The basics will come and after he agrees to be of use.
It's daytime.
Look, she believes in Darwinian teachings. If he walked out into the sun on his own, that's his own damn problem.
If he's not of use to us, he's going to walk out into the sun and he's going to live a very short second life.
He
George isn't gonna argue.
well,
like
hold
one of
on.
those isekais.
So
with
did
the
you
incredibly
did you
useless
tell him?
goddess.
Did you tell him that he's a vampire now and that he shouldn't walk into the light?
Well, we're standing in front of the door. There's a pile of corpses behind him. He's been raised, and he's just been told,
To
now,
cooperate.
if you want to continue living much longer, I recommend you cooperate with us.
One moment, I need to just check something real quick.
We've killed you once.
You tell him we killed him once?
Yes.
He looks at May. He calls you an abomination against the Trinity and tries to charge with you out through the door into the sun.
Restrain him with pentacles. Actually, no, he's my spawn. I can probably just restrain him with my will. Actually, no, he's my spawn.
It would still take power to do it.
Okay, sure, I'll restrain him.
All right, he
This
ceases.
will be a project, I see.
Gotta
Wow.
respect the absolute willpower here.
Yeah.
They're
Maybe running them down in cold blood. Well, cold marrow wasn't the right call.
Look.
He demands you release him.
I don't think we'll be doing that. You'll have some questions to answer once the others have concluded their proceedings. So
You'll get
We're going-
nothing out of me, Spawn.
well, I
What's
think
the
technically
beat?
you're my spawn, actually, but I digress. We'll see if that. How do you say? Not will. We'll see if
Attitude?
that attitude holds up under some further questioning. Now, sit tight and wait for the wedding you so rudely interrupted to conclude.
Practice wedding.
Well, you don't need to tell him that.
No, assuming it's not in the room to tell him that.
So what? Do you just leave him in the? Do you just leave him in the mausoleum?
But I'm going to watch him in the mausoleum.
Yeah, George will also stand
Ow.
guard outside.
Now, I would stand guard inside. Now, shall we?
You're standing
No, we
out
do-
outside.
That
George,
roll
what's
was
going on?
just to hear if they're being loud enough outside. That we have to tell them to shut up.
Now,
We're not torturing him.
now. Question.
George will not torture.
So, do you guys think it's worth pouring the bare minimum of power to keep the other bodies kicking so that they can be questioned, or would that be
No.
too much trouble for us?
That would be too much. They should be buried.
Actually, specifically, this will piss them off more. If I can I? How weak can I make them if I pour the bare minimum power into them?
No.
If you, I mean, you're still gonna revive them. They just won't have any vampire powers. All just the drawbacks.
But
Well,
so they won't be like weaker than a standard human.
Isn't there a guy that lost his head?
No, not really.
Okay.
Lost his head because of Birdie.
So that would be
seveal people have lost their
problematic
heads
for us
because
then,
of this.
right? So we'll just keep. The
Also, yeah, you can't really reattach the messengers or the not messengers. What the hell were they?
Ranger.
Rangers, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
George.
revive a
kind
ranger
of,
is just a head.
No, it wasn't. The Rangers died from the grenade. It would have been the wizards and the knights that George would have helped cut the heads off while they marched away.
Right.
He's a good
Anyway,
guy.
I'm pretty sure vampirism doesn't revive you from being beheaded. In fact, I'm pretty sure it explicitly doesn't do that because that's how you kill vampires.
A beheading, stake through the heart. Handcuff them in the coffin.
Depends on what lore you follow.
Can you not become a vampire if you died of skin cancer?
What?
Well, since it was caused by sunlight.
It's quite the
No,
same.
I think you have to be a spawn of Cain.
In any case, do you revive the others?
Nosferatu
if
looked
I
like he
can't-
died of skin cancer.
If they're
It'd
not
be
going to be weaker, if they're going to be like super weak, if I can revive them to the effect where they're like barely alive, super weak, then yes. But if they're going to be like their normal strength, just with vampire drawbacks, I will leave them dead.
So you leave them dead.
Yes. It'll be probably George standing by the door. Athoif, I don't know where Athoif will be in May, just staring at the messenger.
George standing there menacingly.
Actually, does Athoif even need suggestion to just search their corpses, or would that be what he's
Bold of you to assume he hadn't already.
Very bold.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, what did I find?
Well, the knights are all wearing high quality plate armor.
Is it magic?
No, it's just very well forged.
George like a crack fiend for magic metal.
The Rangers have a bunch of
You got any of that mithril?
Dude.
Snort.
The Rangers have a bunch of Ranger supplies, bows, arrows, various types of baits, knives, aplenty. The Wizards have their casting focuses, spell books. Nothing too particularly fancy.
I liken it to a Brotherhood of Steel member, like that Dave Chappelle bit. It's like, y'all got any technology? But y'all got any magic metal?
Yes.
So you're all just sort of watching this.
Athoif's going through their possessions.
I will suppress him using the terrifying aura.
What?
You know, I don't think
Terrifying
your
presence.
aura is going to be much more terrifying than May staring him down.
I'm thinking more in addition to.
I mean, it can't hurt. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if he
Sure,
makes
it'll be
another
much-
lunge for the door, George is going to use the skeletal
you-
ability to suppress him with a magnitude of 2.
You could just tie him up.
He
Yes,
doesn't
but
make a
it's
lunge for
funny.
the. He doesn't make a lunge for the door. He just reaches into his pack.
Which is
wanna
why you
stop
tie
that.
him up.
He's reaching! I cut his arm off.
Or
Uh,
Okay, that is
Can
a legal
I-
thing to do.
Can George just lunge the guy and pin his arms behind his back?
Unfortunately, both you and Athoif were described as outside.
No, George is in the doorway.
Yeah,
Bodies and George was
in
staring at
there.
the doorway. Now,
How wide do you think this fucking doorway is for both May and George to be standing in it?
No,
no,
they're
May is
kind of both. Look, Bright, they're both kind of just doing pillarman poses there.
let's lay this out. So,
Look, the doorway is so narrow we can't even see the doorway. That's how narrow it is.
there we go. This is roughly the layout here. So,
Seems rather small for the amount of space that's in the mausoleum.
There you go.
well, that's the amount of
that's
space
actually
I
what
had
it
to
is.
draw. If you give me a larger space to draw somewhere, I could be more to scale, but I don't really have a huge amount of space to draw stuff out. But I think it's fair to say there's nothing he can do or any of them can do until the or while we wait for the wedding to finish.
Yeah, and I imagine once Athoif is done looting the corpses, he loots him.
Well, while Athoif's looting the corpses, the man reaches into his pack. And
Terrifying presence.
it happens rather fast. The terrifying presence sure terrifies him. Doesn't dissuade him from his action, though.
Which is messenger.
The roof of the mausoleum now has a hole in it, casting sunlight in.
Right.
He burns up to death.
Hold on. To that, I'd like to react.
That's a good thing.
As he's doing that, can I not react and cast darkness on the entire mausoleum?
He's already on fire. You could attempt to put him out.
Yes.
What? Yes. Yeah. Put him. Cast darkness. Put him out.
Yeah.
It is now dark. The sun has ceased burning him, but not sure he has enough to keep going, to be honest.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing for you that you've got plenty of friends nearby. I recommend you borrow some of their essence, and I will compel him to feed on one of his friends.
He will resist this compulsion.
You mean attempt to resist?
Yes.
Roll
But,
willpower. Watch Bright have given him like a +10 to willpower.
+3, not far off.
May, roll.
He does, in fact, choose to resist as hard as he can.
Hang on, can May beat that?
Okay.
I think it's a +2 for casting.
What am I rolling to? Just casting?
Yeah, just casting.
You're trying to compel one of your spawn.
That's an plus.
You just gotta beat an 8.
I have to. There we go.
See, I feel like you were just unprepared for this, Brett.
He does not, in fact, consume his compatriots. He tells you to. How would a compact person phrase this?
Well, it depends on how seared he is, how well he can speak as well.
Oh.
Return to null abomination, he says, as he perishes.
Not letting
Damn,
him
and
perish.
that's the lead into the Null campaign. Damn.
Is he that close to dying? Damn.
Yes, he fucking
Well,
he tried to kill himself twice. You barely stopped him twice
wait, what was the first time he tried to kill himself?
when he tried to knock. Yeah,
Oh, right. Right, yes. Sure.
Well, look, he wouldn't be aware that would be an action that kills him, but he still tried to kill himself.
Well,
no, I had him roll. I had him roll Lord to see if he can figure out what a vampire is after seeing May.
I see.
Just so happened he rolled pretty high on that. I believe he rolled an 8 on that. He didn't even have a large bonus. He only had a +1.
Damn good lucky rolls these guys get.
unfortunate. Shall we see if any of his friends are still able to cling to life?
I mean, you literally have a guy who can talk to the dead in the chapel, just having fun with the festivities.
Carl
And
will
by
come out.
that, being bored out of his mind.
We'll wait till they're done.
He
Interrupted in a-
look. He prefers the weddings when he's on the altar, right?
Hold on. Are you
Bored out
saying
of his
that
mind.
Carl-
One of his friends is getting married to the domestic abuser of
sounds
her
bored.
life.
Are you saying that Carr can bring him back again?
No,
Car
he
can
speak to the
talk to the
dead.
dead. Yeah,
Perfect. Perfect.
it's
So,
just
Even in death, you shall serve.
Look, I know you
So-
died twice, but you will still answer the questions.
We have ways of making you talk.
are
Ah,
any of his friends
you're
still
talking about the
recently
German
headed
clockmaker.
up, or are they all passed?
I mean, I'd say it's been long enough for your vampirism to not really be able to salvage them.
No? Okay, cool.
Because if you'd done it
enough.
immediately, you could have kept them alive. But I'd say it's been longer than 3 turns, and 3 turns is very generous for a revival spell.
Oh, okay. For the enemies. Yeah, okay. If it's 3 turns,
Yeah.
definitely. I was hoping to keep torturing him, but I guess that's that's the end
Torture?
there. Well,
No. I will not be party to torture.
okay.
I will not be party to torture. Only
It's
advanced
interrogation, on the other hand.
interrogation.
Yeah.
I'm not
No,
I'm not
interrogations
saying
are one
that I
thing.
was hoping to continue torturing him, but
Look,
in character would be more like
beatings and heavy persuasion is one thing.
well,
Ripping out fingernails, that's another.
Athoif, do you check the guy's corpse now that he's dead?
Yeah.
You
Sift through
find
pockets and look for loose change.
you find the message that the compact was delivering, as well as an official-looking document that states to be your warrant. It lists you by name, but not by last name, and decently vivid account of what your human face looks like. No mention of the skeleton bits.
Okay, so what you need to do now is you need to take that document and make it a poor forgery and send it back to the compact saying, look, we found some criminals that were holding these documents. Obviously,
Yeah,
these were
we've already
sent
had them
there.
executed.
Yeah, for having false documentation on them.
Look, if you want to willingly walk into the compact,
Oh,
And turn
we
yourself
send we send a criminal to do this. You know?
Yeah, Ethan.
This is like what lifts their sentence, like petty theft. Like, just go deliver this message. If you come back alive, you're free.
Is the compact the place where I replaced the
I'm pretty sure that's one of the crimes they were accusing you of, yes.
Okay.
wait, was
This is
the,
just
um,
The
consequences.
curator,
of your actions.
the curator
yeah.
place, right?
No,
no,
that was the
that
Empire.
was the Empire.
No,
Oh,
that
the
was
The compact was the compact the place the thief game's going on.
You found just one governor in one of the cities, and
Oh,
he
right.
said,
Yeah,
time to
never mind.
die.
Yeah, never mind. I got thrown off by this. Yes, gotcha. No, some
sorry, he
some
was a
other
lord,
lady
he was a
said
lord.
that. Governor.
You can You can tell by
Or-
the long list. You can tell in the long list of crimes that they have in fact pinned the assassination on your group. Not a specific person in your group, just your group.
John has never been to the compact.
You can also tell that a lot of these accusations are
Spurious.
baseless, spurious. You feel like maybe this is just an excuse to finally kick off the war.
What crimes did they accuse Sabina of specifically?
Crimes against sovereignty and being an abomination in the eyes of the Trinity.
Oh right, yes, for being not human. Got it.
Okay.
What are the crimes Chun has committed, apparently?
Okay, that one includes being gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a second. This comes pretty base.
Chan's list of crimes, including but not limited to aiding and abetting the enemy. Let's see. Betting the enemy. Betting a non-human.
Heretical worship of a non-compact deity.
The compact doesn't deal in deities.
Oh, they don't? Yeah. Well, okay, then, yeah, dealing in deities, then.
No, that's not illegal over there.
They
It's
just don't? We don't do that
they
here?
have a different faith that's a bit more involved. Not that any of you know it, because none of you give a shit.
Quite frankly, true.
Let's see. What else was Chen responsible for? Insurrection.
Against who?
It just says insurrection. It doesn't mention who or what or why.
Was George not guilty of anything?
Just because we had
course
that
George is
unarmed
guilty of
protest in their
things.
capital.
I think George is guilty of breaking and entering into a government facility.
Among other
It's not the
things.
court.
And battery upon government
really a crime?
officials.
Okay, he was caught for
Okay,
that.
that's probably a crime.
Yeah, among many other things.
That one's a fair cop.
Also being an abomination against the state.
Well, he doesn't
being
recognize
undead.
that, so.
But the possibly the worst
himself is no.
possibly the worst accusation you see on the list against yourself, George Birdie. Practicing blacksmithing without a license.
Is that on the list?
Yes.
George will. I imagine this discussion is happening afterwards. George will look at the
No,
list.
you're all just looking at the list in the mausoleum. Funnily enough, May doesn't seem to have an entry in the list. Probably too recent of an addition to the party.
Not terribly surprising. Now, as fascinating as this list is, we do have one small matter of that hole in the roof to address before we
I'm killing them all.
do too much more.
There is, in fact, a hole in the roof of the mausoleum.
Look, just patch it up with one of the knight's breastplates. He'll be fine.
Actually, George will go over, grab some of the cuirass, and just flatten it with his hammer, and then place it on the roof.
And thus you invent tin roofing.
Yeah. Because of the way
One of the
that
least
particular style of
anachronistic
armor,
things
it
that
does look corrugated.
one of the least anachronistic things Birdie has made other than swords.
Yes. I did in fact make an inverted bouncing Betty, so yes. Also chokers.
An inverted bouncing Betty. It takes an explosion in the air, absorbs it, and puts it into the ground. That's kind of cool.
No, wait, if you're thinking too small, it reassembles any Germans nearby first.
We accidentally create a burrowing Bertie so big, it creates a wormhole. Hans is sucked through, along with what's his face, the medic.
Oh no.
Fritz, yeah. The dynamic.
Why do you bring
duo
Fritz into this?
universe?
Fritz is
German.
living a wonderful, happy life.
German.
I know. Hasn't he suffered enough for the crime of being German?
Anyway, so Germans, not Argentinians.
Fritz looks
True.
around Willand. Ah, nice Fachwerk. I like it here.
Ah, yeah, we make a parking garage of it.
Anyways,
gesturing at a farm.
your crimes notwithstanding, what are you doing?
Waiting till the wedding's over.
Rehearsal.
The wedding.
Do the rehearsal on P break. Go on.
Th-
We distracted long enough.
I'm just going to say the rehearsal after that goes off without a hitch.
You're really skimping out. Wow.
Well, yes, I am. Fuck you! I already did too much of this gay relationship
It's
RP.
it's not just Aura reading out the charges for which that China has to follow.
I mean, if someone brought her the charge list, she would probably do it as part of her vows. But
I hereby vow to marry the woman wanted in the compact.
responsible for.
No, hang on. On it just says Chun, 3 counts of bestiality.
Ew.
What? They don't think Aura's human.
I mean, she isn't.
Also, only 3? Damn, you were caught that many times.
Only that many.
You were caught by You were caught by people who reported you to the compact 3 times.
Still less times than his other
Yeah, the
character.
compact spies aren't as in-depth as we thought. Remarkably uninfiltrated.
The fact that they arrived on time to provide that message during a wedding rehearsal means that their spies are pretty well timed.
That's
To be
quite
fair,
insult
they,
for Insane.
That's Athoif's work, though. George doesn't get involved.
To be fair, they were sort of just waiting for all of you to be in a single place, whether it was wedding or not. Didn't really matter to them.
Well, the fact that they expected us all to be in a single place at all is
The fact that they thought they would escape alive as well.
I mean,
Well,
I was I was thinking that part out, and I kind of get the feeling they might not have.
Well, then they got what they want.
I don't think they were imagining escaping alive. I think they were imagining enough of them dying to just add that to the list of things to start off the war with.
Attacking messengers is a great way to kick off a war, isn't it?
Yeah, which is why we need to reallocate all of the guards that met them on their way in here and say, oh, you're going over to the western side of the country for a bit.
No, yeah, we'll give them this universe's equivalent of the Eastern Front.
Look, they have standing orders to let through any official correspondence.
And
What is
all
more
their
official
guards.
correspondence? What is more official correspondence than a messenger directly from?
Yeah, and they let his personal army walk with him. Wow.
Quite frankly, that's something you wait for an audience for, not just barge into any event happening.
Yeah, you really need to increase the security of your land.
Listen.
Too lackluster.
How the fuck could they have been a problem? They brought fucking trumpets. Come on.
They brought swords.
They heralded their entry before coming in to declare war.
You did mention that they had messenger pigeons in capsules or something, presumably.
The birds are well, anyone who has a glove has access to the messenger birds.
So some sort of magical item.
Yes.
We could attach the head of the messenger to one of the birds and send it back.
No.
The birds can't really carry that. The birds can't really carry that much.
We can
What
hollow
about-
up the head.
Well, if it's an African sweater, maybe.
Now that would be imprudent. However, This does mean that we've acquired a compact messenger bird glove thing, right?
Aw, damn! Nobody
Mm.
nobody tested the messenger's writing first, because
The bird glove. The bird gloves.
Athoif could just send a message writing. Yeah, we gave up on this idea of delivering the warrant. It was a stupid idea. We're
The
in a
bird
bar
gloves
right now.
don't actually. The bird gloves don't actually care about. Well,
Nationality.
and yeah, nationality. Anyone can send a message to a person. The birds just sort of sort it out.
Based. So,
Send all the messages,
Well,
let
how-
the birds sort them out later.
how many of these gloves are there?
There were 13 people, I think.
Okay, so they all have gloves.
No, actually no. There were 10, not 13.
There were
Sorry.
10.
It's only 10 of them
Yeah.
have gloves.
So you have
Right,
10
so
gloves.
we have acquired a bunch of these gloves. Well, these will come in handy.
This was something that Carr had been using since the start of the game, but I guess
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
I
you
didn't
were
know that
in
we
These
had
aren't these aren't exactly unique magic items. In fact, they are
Okay.
the basis of communication
Oh.
in this fucking
Th-
setting.
They were
Okay,
like
so they're
they
not
were
a
like
compact
50
specific
gold.
thing.
Yeah, they were 50 gold from what I remember.
Expensive enough that you don't want to lose it, but not so expensive that it's not commonplace.
It's a cell phone. That's what it is.
Are they a basic enough magic item?
They
that
take-
they're not even
It takes
counting
time, and they're not
as
as reliable as actual cell phones, but
Are they basic enough that they're not even counting against magic item cap?
yeah,
Okay.
because you don't
They're not compact.
you don't have to focus on them.
performance.
Yeah, you don't have to focus on them. They're just really the only magic in them is letting the birds know where to fucking find the person it's addressed to.
Yeah, so
We
at
don't-
any
we
rate,
wouldn't have-
see who signed off on the warrant, and someone forged the messenger's handwriting if you can, and say, "Oh man, this was a stupid idea. We decided not to fulfill the warrant. Fuck you for sending us to die."
Well, no. What we send them back is a message that they've been turned. Okay. Is Athoif able
okay,
to?
I'm recommending
Henry?
things that don't start off the war immediately.
No, the message that I'm going to send is we've been held up in customs. It will be another. Expect this
2 weeks.
to take another 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then our return journey is likely to take much longer.
Well, that part's not relevant. It's about when the message gets delivered.
Yeah, give us some time to sort. Say there's trouble on the road ahead. We've had to divert. Will be another month, and we
Oh.
can just move the army.
We're allowing the
and
King of Willen to perform duties, passing on
Yes.
responsibilities before going.
It
into
would be-
custody.
It would be most impolite to interrupt this
Oh!
wedding.
No, you've got that right. That we have them captured and we're on our way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
we can just
they all
move
surrendered.
the shock troops of the army up to the border and launch a surprise invasion.
Yes.
Nobody accuses Bertie of blacksmithing without a
Right.
fucking
Now.
license. You don't need a fucking license.
Right.
George is going to lead
Right.
the charge.
Right. We stay in
Anyway,
this room.
yeah.
Athoif's
Yeah,
going
no,
to Athoif disguise himself as the messenger.
To be fair-
Sophia make the,
To be fair,
robe,
it's not,
and,
To be fair, it's not exactly blacksmithing without a license. It's usage of licensed forges without a license.
Yeah, no, George doesn't recognize that. He got permission.
They may have been breaking the law to let you do that.
Doesn't matter. He got permission. The forge masters themselves said he had permission. He had permission. He's going to burn the compact down to the ground.
I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like you had the license. Anyways, it's not like they're making up spurious.
Fine.
It's not like they're making up spurious charges just to get you all arrested.
Find their administratum, and he's going to fucking raise it.
Quite frankly, that's what you should do to any administratum.
Yeah. Also, Chan is going to send a quick message to the Absolute, saying that a bunch of compact people wanted to arrest her during the wedding rehearsal.
Oh, damn.
How rude.
I know, right?
Anyway, are you still in the middle of the wedding rehearsal? You might want to pay attention to your wife.
I mean, after the rehearsal. I thought you said it. I thought you
See,
said we were done with it.
I thought you were in the middle of. Okay, after the rehearsal.
Yeah, didn't you say
You know
that
what?
we were done?
Knowing
they
Chun,
even-
he still asks that. Knowing Chun, he still asks that.
Junior rehearsal. Well, we've agreed that we've just like paused this section and are sorting the corpses and stuff.
My
While you
head
do that.
canon of this event is, despite the people, well, aside from the people that stood up and fought for like that 6-second period, everyone else just turned their backs and continued the rehearsal.
You know what? Aura wouldn't. Aura wouldn't be complacent enough to let this happen again, and she stood up and said that this is no longer the rehearsal. This is the official wedding, and she may kiss the bride, and did so.
Damn.
I see.
Did you
The
ha-
party's still 2 weeks away, though. Or 1 week away, rather.
Did she have to use that much tongue though?
Anyways,
Upon hearing this,
after
George will present Aura with the quite decent quality chain for Children's College
Oh my god.
in front of all the guests, by the way.
a wedding gift, how thoughtful.
Yes. Oh, and here's the key for the lock.
And just
I had
stares
to
at him.
You can-
repair it, I needed to repair it.
You can throw it away.
And just
That's
stares.
not smart.
I wasn't going to take it off anyway.
But George will insist she takes it.
Fine.
Yeah, personal experience with wife. You need a backup. They go missing.
Yeah, but I don't want her to take it off.
She needs to bathe at some point.
It's a metal collar. It can go with her.
No, it'll rust.
It's magic metal.
It will still rust.
It'll be magic rust.
That doesn't come off without reforging.
Anyways,
And PSS Road looks at Aura. So, after this rude interruption, does my wife wish me to burn down the compact?
very much so.
Much obliged. How many heads do you want?
Yeah, I prefer not to bring them back to Willand.
Perfect.
Anyways, slight alteration to the rules. No trophies from the compact.
Damn.
Oof.
Look, there's
Pretty
just no way that she and the trophy would get along.
Ah, you mean trophy wives? Okay.
Yes.
Ah.
I see.
Oh, so you're fine with
Wait,
conquest,
so she
as long
wants
as you,
trophy wives, like. Alright.
Jesus Christ.
No way.
Look, it's sort of a tradition by now in Willand.
Oh, I see.
Well, at any rate, at some point, if Sabina's allowed to approach, she will present her wedding gift, which would be just the diary of her travels in Hagia.
How very thoughtful.
It illustrates a lot of the things of what they did when Aura wasn't there.
You get this odd feeling that she's priming to murder you, possibly from her claws making that distinct snick sound when she extends them.
Sabina sighs. They're truthful accounts.
I won't murder anyone on my wedding day.
Well,
Can't
no
win this for
slaying
Chun.
today.
Can't win this for Chun.
Okay. Time to burn down a compact. Yay!
So anyway, some harpies come in carrying a banner of congratulations to the happy. 3 crossed out says 2 with a 3 signatures on it.
Hold on.
Really just
Now, hold on.
Sabina's face.
Hold on. Are you, is this something, Athoif prepared to fuck with them
Yeah.
beforehand?
Asa
Okay.
wouldn't know about it.
What? How would he not have heard about all that drama?
I'm pretty sure Athoif would have heard all the
That would-
fucking drama.
Athoif out of
That
anyone
might
in
have been
party
fallen through
would
the
have known.
grapevine by this point.
Athoif would have known before
The-
you did.
Okay, yeah.
Who would have been
Yeah.
the first member of the party to know about it?
Yes, he would have known before Aura did that Aura
That's
was
the
upset.
question.
Anyways, some parties bring in a wedding gift.
Also,
So does
Is it the question is
Sabina have to
the
roll
question
dodge?
is do the hold on the question is do the harpies sell Athoif out? Do they sign from Athoif on the banner?
Did they sign an NDA?
I don't know. I think they understand that. Well, for one thing, that everyone would probably know who's Athoif anyway, but also that it's more fun if they don't.
All right, fine.
Oh god.
Uh, the wedding gifts are a bit early because Carr hadn't prepared his yet. He was gonna save it for the actual wedding.
wait, what?
Well,
wait,
there's still going to be the big party, so...
Hold on. I thought we'd skip to the actual wedding when we were talking about.
No,
gifts.
no.
Nope, she said
What?
that she's skipping the actual wedding day and not.
Or just
No.
I just decided to make the rehearsal the actual wedding day just in case the compact gets any more ideas.
We're still having
They
the big
have a
party.
second group of retards that have an arrest warrant.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's too late to cancel the party, so that's happening. But this is the wedding. This is official.
All of this is still happening. It's happening while we're still looking over.
While
the
May
lines
is
and
outside,
making
yeah,
the
while
ones
May is outside kicking the corpses.
Yeah.
George is currently
Hold
just
on.
beating on a chest plate to make a roof
There's no
filler.
point in kicking the corpses.
Yeah, it's,
You aren't-
well, Athoif already took all the change that was in their pockets. So what else do you have to do with the
We're going
corpses?
to lay out their possessions. And ideally, I will add 10 bird gloves to my sheet.
Go ahead. They're all
Go ahead.
leather. I can't do anything with it.
Cool. And we'll figure out what they had on them and divvy it up. The magic, the bird books, their magic.
I'd say resale value totaled some. Yeah, these were pretty seasoned eventually. Some 1,000 gold in total.
Of like all of their gear. Or...
All their gear.
Okay, cool. I'm taking the 10 bird gloves. Where's the sheets?
Anyways. God, all this drama went on for longer than expected.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Time
Yeah,
to
that's what
start some
happens when you
burning.
fail speech checks.
Not really a failed speed check so much as it was just a bad idea to spring it on Aura in front of her
Yeah.
parents and everyone else before consulting with her.
Yeah. Right. So now it's
So after the rehearsal that became the real wedding, who shows up and tells us that that became the real wedding?
No one.
how do we find out?
No, I guarantee you that.
You find out
Someone
when you see Aura carrying Chun outside.
Chain.
After
No.
after that was
Georgie.
done, the matter of security would have to be addressed.
Yeah. So first things first, we're moving military forces to the compact side. Where's the first target of the war?
Well, it would have to be their city.
This is compact, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And as I've
So there.
and as I've heard, there's no path to here without going into Republic territory. So our
You can
only path
technically
is-
you can technically make it through the place the alcohol ruins were, because that was mostly uncontested territory.
Oh,
Getting
so if we just
getting
move forces through there, we could claim it.
getting an army through there though would be difficult with the surrounding woods, which is why you arrived by boat last time.
Well, hang on. We could, within the bead, 50 people, right? We could put 50, like a shock troop in the bead, march through, and then deploy them, and then march on as a
Yep,
surprise
that
assault.
that would work.
Wouldn't be great for like sieging a fortress, but with a couple burrowing Berties to make some holes and some town walls, we could take a city, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is, but aside from that, can we maintain supply lines if we had to use that method?
The supply line would be the
transport
issue,
people?
but pillage.
Well, that territory has already been put under banditry. That should be pillaging it anyway. So.
Well, we can recruit bandits to the cause then. Promise them greater plunder in exchange for signing up with the warband.
Well, as it is, we should just do a shock assault on their fortress. They obviously prepared for war to start, so they're going to put pretty much everything they want to throw at us inside the first garrison. So if we just overwhelm that garrison with our special with some special weaponry and take it out, they shouldn't have many forces to defend against us with.
Right, well.
I assume Carl sent a message to Arkaine that the war starts.
I would imagine. Said.
No, am I supposed
Actually,
to be answering for that?
hold on. One thing, Sarek should have been there, but I just didn't have him.
He's not there even when he is there.
Oh well.
Sarek should definitely have been in the crowd because his job is to watch over Carr, and he would definitely inform the Arkaneans that
Actually,
change of plans. It's happening a bit sooner because the compact isn't just sitting around waiting for us to make moves.
Actually, Sarek probably would have followed out with everyone and was probably also in the mausoleum.
Probably.
Why though?
Nah, his job is to make sure that Carr stays both true and alive to his word. So he's just sticking with Carr, and Carr didn't decide to go out. So
I suppose that makes sense as well.
as much as he personally wanted to roast them to a crisp,
Well, I think you find it'd be.
He'll be happy to hear what did happen.
Yeah. Also, this river's going to be a horrible place to fight.
Well, that's why
Anyways,
we're not fighting on the river. We're
So,
trudging out while we have surprise.
okay.
how long do you take to prepare your
Also,
Well,
for the adventuring
Also,
gear,
did you actually send the letter?
actually, for the
Arkaine
adventuring
lab?
gear, Should
to not the Arkaine, to the compact.
Egg, I don't think you're going to get a chance
Uh,
to speak, but
yes,
Sorry, Egg.
yes.
Go ahead.
We should. I wanted to have that be discussed with others a little bit afterwards, but we definitely sent some sort of letter to delay their actions as much as possible. Something to the effect of we got held up in customs, reporting
No,
on.
we just
no.
do what. No, we say what I
Whatever.
said, which is that we have them in custody and are on our way.
Sure.
that will be delayed due to road conditions.
No, we don't need to say that
Like-
much. We just need to say, I mean, this is the least suspicious way we can convince them that they've already won.
Right.
Alright.
So
At least long
if that's the case, we should be enlisting the assistance of our illusionist and perhaps our shapeshifter to pass that off.
Pass that off as in what? Us go out
As in it's
first
fitting
while.
because we are counting on spies existing in the kingdom. Yes.
Well,
Do you carry
yeah.
the letter yourself?
Isn't the
I
letter
thought we were
being
just-
sent by?
I thought we were
I
just
thought
sending the
bird
message.
took
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
through a messenger bird, I assume. Which
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I
Through
assume,
the
I assume what Egg is saying is that he wants to be the bird with the shapeshifter.
No, I want the
No,
shapeshifter Athoif to pretend to be the messenger and the illusions for the crew
Okay,
and whatnot.
that-
So to spies, it
Why?
doesn't look like. So that it looks like it's actually happening, and the spies, if they report
Yeah,
back,
we
they
just
report
send
back
the
that
letter
that
off. We just send
Yes,
the
and-
letter off, and while that's
Yes.
being sent off, we just muster forces and do a shock assault on their closest
Yeah.
defensive
Yeah.
emplacement.
Yeah,
But
at
what I'm
most we
saying
have
is-
at most we have a 1 day delay because we're doing the
Yeah.
fucking wedding
Yeah.
party, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is just for that, it looks most convincing if any
No,
spies
but
report.
that's
back
just
to
not
that
needed.
group.
That's just not needed.
All right,
That's also not possible because you killed him very publicly.
I suppose that's true.
Well, it's I don't think it's a private.
Well,
affair,
is
wedding
it
or
We
public?
whatever.
have
The-
enough time.
No, in the streets.
Oh, right,
We
yes.
But it
would
was
have
still
enough
in the
time
church
to
for
get
now.
the letter out there and muster forces. We don't have enough time to do a whole infiltration
Anyways.
operation.
Anyways, yes, for their gear, should we just split the value of that as just currency between?
Don't
Athoif,
fucking worry
George,
about
and
that.
me?
That's going back.
Money should really not be an object for your characters at this point. At least while you're in friendly territory.
Unless they have special fucking equipment, it's not really.
Yeah.
I imagine most funds we gather from now on are going into a war chest for provisions and supplies for the army. So we gather.
So where do you think you're moving then?
So what? Hang on. What is the troop composition of the forces we can muster?
Mostly, at least in this part, mostly wolf shock troops. Some harpy
Heavy
archers,
infantry.
harpy scouts and archers. There are you have what would be 2 companies of wizards. Not as well trained as someone like Sabina, but enough to pack a punch in a group.
Right. We're not bringing. Actually, I will bring 1 burrowing Bertie for the initial assault, and we're not allowing any troops to carry them.
Fair.
The letter is sent out.
Only George.
A letter is sent out. A day passes.
Once the troops are mustered, we march forth.
Let's see.
Be a blitzkrieg.
So
Like-
Sabina forgoes
Um,
the party to help out the troops.
Also,
George also forgoes the party to help equip the troops.
he does not forego the party.
Sabina, Aura would find you sometime during the party, blitzed out of her mind.
Okay.
Something about forgiving you, and I mean you're gonna die soon anyway fighting the compact. May as well You'd better keep Chen alive. You can't really understand most of it because it's half slurred.
Athoif, this makes for a
I
very
would have
poor
thought it would all
joke.
be
What?
slurs.
Hold on. What slur specifically?
Fucking.
From over where he actually is.
Yeah. Ignoring the fact that Athoif may be in the same fucking room when Aura comes to Sabina specifically blitzed out of her mind. Sabina would still
as
say,
you see,
Athoif, this is a poor joke.
You say Athoif, this is a poor joke. You see one of the background guards who's carrying supplies off to somewhere just lift his head up in panic.
George will skip the party and he'll just be helping the heavy infantry get armed.
Damn, no one's partying.
I mean,
Well,
Athoif's
George
saying.
sets off a whole
No,
fucking-
no,
I
May
said
is
May
partying.
will not forego the party.
You're saying, and yeah, Athoif's saying.
Kara's partying as his obligation as king, and no other reason.
I mean,
Definitely
get the
not
fact that
because he
George
enjoys a good
can't
party.
enjoy it.
Enjoys a good party with his wives.
It's his party. He'll cry if he wants to.
Why would he be crying?
I don't know. He strikes me as that kind of guy.
Fair enough.
All right.
Well, Sabina helps make sure the soldiers are organized. Promises to Aura aside.
Well, sister, having officially forgiven you for trying to steal her wife because her wife is just so good.
Sabina's own anger aside. Anyway.
Lol, Lamau, you lost. Look who secured a good alliance.
I mean, that was Carl.
Why aren't you married yet?
That was Carr, also against both the wishes of Aura and Chun until they're both into that.
I don't know. So it seems Aura didn't mind.
She didn't mind that she was just thrown that.
In any case, let's see. How are we going to do this? You're marching with your army, which is represented by the banner.
Mm-hmm.
You can scout the area directly around your banner. And each tile takes 1 to 2 days, depending on the size of the army.
So 1 day, because our army's not massive.
It's decently big. I'd say it's bordering on 2 days. The only reason I'm saying I would be saying 1 day is because you have less than you could have had, but they're better equipped than they would have been had you decided to go for quantity.
We have elites.
Quality is usually better.
It's specifically the result of all the deals you made with Otto. The tax breaks resulted in less men overall, but his trading resulted in better armed men.
I'm
Carr,
sure
only
Bertie
making the
didn't care for
correct
that.
decisions is what I'm hearing.
I mean, there's definitely an argument to be made about just having a mass of men.
It
You like
depends.
a
If
massive man,
we're
huh?
entering into a choke point, which is what seems to be happening in the next 2 days, no.
Well, hang on. Remember, we can always decline an attack if they sally forth
You're
and just fight them in better terrain.
you are capable of just building a bridge across the river.
Yeah, I'm thinking
How many
that
days
this
would
is
that
the
be?
plan we take.
It would take you
I'm
longer
saying
than
we go
just.
this way.
It would take you probably a week to just
Hold
build
on.
the bridge in total. At least one
With-
that could support the entire army, but
Okay,
With
what
magic
about we
and
just
canisters, I imagine we could do that
So we're-
significantly faster.
so we're expecting the enemy to come attack us. Why not just set an ambush after the bridge? They're not going to be spending a fucking week building a pontoon bridge.
So we spend a day moving here, and then we have scouts.
actually, hold on.
At
You have wizards that would cut the time in half, probably.
Well,
Yeah,
time
what
and
about
half is 3
30's
days.
influence as well?
Yeah,
Honestly, with wizards, I would think that it's a thing that basically just
it's
do.
a no, because
It's not permanent.
yeah, it's a matter of creating something that's permanent. Because you can make impermanent bridges, but that's not enough for your supply lines to get past. And if you get caught out without your supply line, well, you can if you want to just cross. But if you get caught out without your supply lines, you're very fucked.
I think hang on, there is already a bridge. We know there is, right?
Yes.
The army should have at least enough supplies for the initial assault with it. So if we just rush across and take our objective as soon as possible, we could allow then the supply lines to catch up before further persecuting the war.
We never pulled the soul of that messenger back to have another little chat with him.
It's not
I mean,
important.
I could say you could have if you wanted to, but I don't
Wait,
really
would
know
we
what
learn
you.
if they had an army ready on the border?
Let's just say we did.
You would
and
learn.
learn
You would
something.
learn that his group is. You would learn that his group wasn't actually part of any main force. They were essentially a private military group because the bounty on your head is large enough to warrant it.
Of course. I
Still
mean-
being
I
Satan
mean,
after 100 years.
I wonder how much.
And
flack
besides,
we're getting
besides,
for arresting a king from his own country.
besides, how difficult could it be to just grab some like fat ass royal? What does he do all day, anyways?
His wives.
So what we need to
so they
do
just-
then is we
they
need
just-
to really start winning this war quick if we want to
So
get
that-
those on our side.
So they severely underestimated the room they walked into.
Yes.
Well, to be fair,
They-
to be fair,
King
they
for
brought.
half them to be almost
There were
killed in-
10. There were 10 tier 3s in their group. So,
Who the fuck brings grenades to a wedding?
They actually weren't
Sure.
expecting to get. Okay, they really didn't know us if they weren't expecting to just get psychotically murdered.
Yeah, they've declared themselves to be at war. That's ringing the dinner bell for a shark if George is in the room.
At,
No, they
at
didn't
any
declare
rate,
they were at war. They declared they would be at war if we didn't,
Yeah,
Comply.
well,
Yeah.
we knew we
that
were.
was
Which
so
is slightly different.
it's the
at
same
any rate.
end
Well,
result.
no. The important difference is that
Besides, they were- besides, they were-
No. The important reason for that is that because we, anyway. That's why we were capable of telling them that
at
we
any
gave
rate,
up.
we have a battle map. What's our first move?
I argue we head straight southeast.
Right to the
then
bridge?
Yes, straight southeast, and then we just immediately
Oh,
cross
Hold on,
and blitz
hold on.
over. We don't build.
I need to
supply
do something first.
Alright.
Ooh.
What?
What?
Anyway, roll a d10 and move where you want to move.
You already moved them though, right?
You moved
I
them
moved
twice
my.
in one day.
They were
No,
on the city.
no,
You moved them twice.
They moved a.
You
They moved the
them twice.
previous day. They moved the previous day while you were busy doing wedding things.
Is this roll
You're a
modified by
bastard.
anything?
No. This is just a pure luck roll.
5.
Let me see what you get.
You're a bastard.
Among the men, you find a new commander. He was a noble before he got brought into this whole draft thing you were doing. He's decently competent, but not overly inspiring. Other than that, the day passes without much trouble. You keep marching in the direction you were going.
Okay,
Either
I'm
way,
going
I
to
think we have to move
the
southeast. So.
mid-adjutant.
I'm going to
Versus
attempt to
their,
pawn the megaphone I
10.
bought earlier off onto him.
They're trying to let them move faster than they should have.
Yeah, no shit.
Right, how does that go, attempting to pawn the megaphone I bought earlier off onto him?
Let's see. Oh, you just want to sell him a megaphone?
The one I bought earlier for the bit with the...
It's,
You know that could have been useful to shout commands in combat.
Well, that's why I'm just selling it to
That's what I was
the
doing.
commander.
Yeah.
He thanks you, and wait, hold on. I didn't know we were bringing merchants with the. I guess they would follow us, wouldn't they? Anyway,
Always
here's he pulls out a pouch of 100 gold and just dumps it on you.
Nice. I will
War is
thank
very
him for his
profitable
business.
when you're winning.
At any rate, we move.
In any case, you haven't moved. You haven't moved. Yeah, someone
Yeah.
fucking move it. I'm not gonna move it for you.
So
All right,
that was the first
give me,
move we had to make anyway.
Give me. Are you sending scouts? Or are you doing the scouting yourself? What are you doing?
I would like to ask Athoif to scout out ahead of the army.
All right, Athoif, give me a perception
That's up
check.
to him.
Yeah, sure.
You've got the bonus to it, right?
Yeah.
Coat? Alright. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Athoif, you can see that an enemy army has beaten you to the bridge, and you can also see that. Well. Would you comprehend what they're doing? Do you have any
Be able to
lures?
Redescribe it.
I mean, the important part is that I perceive it and can pass it on.
Yeah.
Because
Do you,
I would argue with that.
Yeah,
he
but-
takes an accounting of what they're doing, even if he doesn't know why.
Well, it looks to him like they're planting some sort of big bags around the bridge for some reason.
They're gonna blow the fucking
Oh.
bridge.
whether or not, I mean, that okay. First off, I've committed domestic terrorism personally. but
Actually, yes. Thank you.
Or
I have
foreign
forgotten that you. I have forgotten that you have committed foreign domestic terrorism.
yes,
You would recognize them as planting bombs.
yes.
So this has been sapped.
They have said it, but they haven't blown it yet.
Sapped. I never said blown, I said
Yes.
sapped.
Okay, I guess
Yes.
we are making our own fucking crossing.
I say we just rush. We don't build a bridge. We just rush across.
Yes.
And
they've
get blown
set
up?
it up.
This is
Yeah,
the
the fuck
Rubicon.
up.
Look, this one, you fucking moron.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
So I mean,
Fun fact.
we have
Water
our.
flows down from mountains.
Oh, so what you're saying is that we have our temporary crossing just so we can get over and kill them, and not a supply
Yes,
line.
we
crossing.
we just ford the river. We don't build a permanent bridge. We just get the army across. This is our Rubicon.
All right. Yeah,
All right. If you do this, I will say that your wizards will be too tired to participate in the fight. But you can catch them off guard. They are all watching the bridge, after all.
Can we do this as a night attack? A night assault?
And I just saw the
You can do
werewolves.
it you can do it at any time of day you want. You dictate
Okay.
when you make your
Want me to
moves.
roll?
Roll it just to see how the crossing goes. Because it's not just crossing a river; it's like 20 miles.
10.
All right, a
Yeah.
10. Let's see what you get. What can I get you for a 10?
Let's hit.
All right. As you're crossing, a freak weather occurrence happens. Rain starts. Well, it's not exactly rain.
Oh, how freakish! It's raining.
It's fog, but some of your casters, and you imagine thusly the enemy casters, well, they feel rather out of it because of the fog.
That's fine. They were going to be out of it anyway.
Yes, but the enemies are currently out of it as
Nice.
well.
And it's fog, so it masks our movement, I imagine.
Yes, yes.
Fucking
All
hell,
right,
night,
so
we
have-
night raid on the enemy camp.
Mind you, Sabina, you are feeling allergies, essentially.
Ah, damn it.
Well,
Does it-
that's fine.
Does it affect May?
May's like double allergy.
Wait, I don't have a. There's no tolerance check to magical allergies.
Wait, does Chun also affect
It's
What are the effects of the
Shun's-
allergies, firstly?
one suppression to named characters. The unnamed mass of enemy casters will be unable to do their casting during combat.
Can I willpower out of this?
You're not
You're
a
not a
caster.
caster.
Caster?
Caster.
Oh, only cast? Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's magic. It's not.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
shit.
-1
So
suppression.
Chun's fine.
Chun is a caster.
No, she's finesse, isn't she?
So
No.
no, Chun is a caster.
Eighth of
Oh.
Finesse.
Eighth of finesse. Anyways, you your forces are bigger than the enemies currently.
I want to
After doing so-
development of their forces before we assault.
Do you want the scout? Do you want to?
Does anyone want to volunteer to scout?
This will be both
We
a
need
stealth
more
and a perception roll.
I'd say it's a. Can.
No.
I
that's
suppose so. Okay.
Eighth is
Uh,
now
give me-
head of the scouting corps.
Give me both rolls. They only get the
No.
+1 to see because of the fog, as opposed to the +3 they would normally have.
Oh, yeah.
Known
No,
for
you're
his
fine.
rapport with the Harpy Scouts.
Okay, 9 and 12.
Yeah.
All right. You would notice that
Scout.
they are still watching the bridge. They're using what casters can be coherent at the moment to keep the fog out of the sightlines of the bridge. They aren't expecting your attack from the side.
Ah, so good
Uh,
old Blitzkrieg
with-
will fuck them up, right?
With that, can we do a partial envelopment on them? Get into the rear of them, not just the side.
It would take you longer than you expect the fog to last.
Yeah, let's just go
So,
for it.
alright. Well, do we have cavalry or anything like that?
To run them down.
You don't have cavalry per se, but your wolf shock troops can move very fast.
Okay.
On
They
account
also
of-
have like a +2 to speed or something.
They're like I think you were with them during the or with a group of them during the raid on Soleil's Island.
Oh yeah, we were. Yeah, they are quite.
Those guys are fucking. They can essentially run the speed of a horse, but
Oh. So George can keep pace.
All right, we engage them.
Yep, George will
Anyways,
lead the formation of the heavy infantry.
give me a roll, and with all your bonuses, I'd say a +5 is in order because you really fucked them up here.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh. We roll
Uh,
at
which-
the same time.
Who's in charge of this
Commander.
fucking force?
Sabina.
Alright.
All right, fine. Sabina's making all the rolls in the future, or there will be consequences. Morale breaks when commanders don't get along. Anyways,
Well, she was the only one
With that
officially
roll,
labeled
you-
commander.
with that roll, you massacre about half of their men before they break into a retreat.
God, we did better than
We run them
decimating.
down. We run them
Yes.
down.
They had about 20 points worth of manpower in that, but they do run away, and there being less of them and actively fleeing for their lives, they managed
Oh, it's
to
a
move.
complete route.
Yes.
Complete route.
Okay, so
They
not
are-
an
they are
organized
making-
retreat.
They are making their way back for the fort, the survivors. whoever
I
can.
hope that you tick down the morale counter on their side.
They are not doing well right now. I am
Good.
keeping the numbers hidden because I am going to be
That's
describing
what
things to you rather than
We know
giving
the
you the
AI
correct
cheats
numbers.
in strategy games.
Alright.
Listen, if
Let me
this is
play my
cheating,
my
I
spreadsheet.
if this is cheating, I don't want to know what playing fair would look like for them.
We besiege their fort, and then they have 10,000 cavalry in from
Anyway,
a
the-
half hill on the east.
They actually always have a +5 on their attack rolls, but their defense.
Anyway,
yeah, it's
you
only
having
+3.
Alright.
Anyway, you having done this, both the crossing and the assault at night, you probably move
we've
after
assaulted
them
that
next
position.
next day.
Yeah, we
So.
Give me D10, give me another D10 just to see if
Modifiers?
you just a D10. This is another luck roll
Luck roll. 3.
because
Does
I'm
it require-
rolling theirs just to see if. Let's see.
equally as shit.
Um,
Does it require specifying disarming the
The-
explosives on the bridge?
Oh, we can leave. That
I
to
mean,
supply
without them being there to blow it, you imagine they can't.
we can leave that to the supply.
In fact, you're
troops.
I
You're
just
sup-
want to make sure it's specified that it happened if it needs to be specified.
Speaking of the supply troops, your guys' supply runs rather dry, having crossed the river rather than using the bridge. So
Already.
you're not out, but the daily shipments that you were expecting didn't make it in time.
Nice. So
As
turn of delay.
as for them, that's interesting.
It was a
You, as for them, they do move before you, but not for reasons you were expecting. One of their men stays behind and appears to defect to your side.
Okay.
He wasn't just a nobody either. He was apparently some sort of minor commander.
We're
Huh.
accepting minors into our army now.
Well,
What fuck do you mean?
Athoif-
Athoif's right there.
Excuse me, I'm over 100 years old. I've spent most of the time dead, but I'm over 100 years old.
Anyway.
Anyways, you have some information. It's not a lot, but what you do know is that after blowing the bridge, they were prepared for you to try and cross the river, and had you done so, they have orders, as does the army behind them, to start raising the land to deny you any food.
Ah.
Right.
So the strategy I was having enact over here.
Of course, you imagine that they're going to try and delay you as much as they can with the fort.
Yeah.
And there's no real decent way of crossing around it either.
Well, good thing that the armies now halved, and we can.
Halved,
storm them.
and I can't imagine that them bringing news that they were decimated without a fight is going to do well for the defenders.
No, not decimated. Worse.
Yes.
Decimated's only every
Decimated.
10th
Anyways,
man.
Anyways, you get the.
Disseminated.
Anyways, by the time you move into what I will refer to as siege positions, the fort has been sealed down.
I see.
Mhm.
Well, don't worry.
Now,
Bertie has a tool for this.
yes, you have the option of deploying one of your
Weaponry.
somewhat limited, but definitely
Well, George
effective.
is going to order up some from the magical bead to be brought to him, or at least a position where he can retrieve one after this.
how about asking them to surrender?
You first issue a request for surrender.
You know what? Yeah, sure. But
All right, where the request for surrender?
Do we need to make a roll?
Word a request for surrender. Just what are your demands? What are you saying? What are you offering?
Well, I'd say if all the defenders were to lay down their arms and declare that the city the fortifications were open for Willen, that they should then be allowed to either retreat unarmed into their own territory or join the winning side.
Yes.
Their lives are not forfeit.
Yeah, all the soldiers leave the garrison unarmed, and we will allow them to march to their nearest city.
Who is delivering these demands? Sabina?
Yeah.
But George will go
it's probably not good for the case, being a wolf girl, to do that, but hey.
Yeah.
Hang on. George can present the demands because he just looks like a knight. Well,
She would recommend herself anyway, because someone that's more eloquent of a speaker.
Yeah, I guess George will go with security.
Let's see. How would they respond to this? They did get fucked pretty hard by your assault, but with the fort.
Roll off.
No, I'm thinking with the fort, they probably still fancy their chances, because as you would have learned from the commander you captured, or defected, I suppose, there is more than just them behind them. They are just a delaying force, basically.
Well, if they deny the surrender, we're not going to delay an assault longer than we need to for our troops to be ready.
Yeah, or pretty much giving them like an hour.
Yeah.
At best.
And then George will move in and set off a Bertie at the gate.
An
Even
hour
if we
at
surrender, it'll be hilarious.
an hour on the dot. A message is sent by a bird. They're not leaving their fucking defended positions.
Oh, good. Die in them. Set up the bird.
Yeah, essentially.
George will take just a few heavy infantry with him, just to hold shields up while he sets it. You will go to the not quite maximum, a bit under, just so there's a bit of safety in its aim. And he will deploy the Bertie aimed directly at the gatehouse.
Alright. Give me a roll.
Me or him?
As the inventor of this, do I get no bonuses?
It's just a D10. No bonuses at all in this case. I'm just judging your luck again.
Yeah.
The birdie goes off. The gate collapses. I'm just rolling Sabina as the commander because one of you has to roll.
Well, I mean, Bertie was setting it off. I was looking at.
Well, anyway, yeah.
About the bonuses, so I didn't see.
It's down there anyway. So.
Anyways, your mine goes off, but they had mined their approach themselves anyways.
Oh no.
And you are forced to spend another bomb to break through a side so you can actually enter the fucking city.
Okay. Well, then that does deplete my Berties. I imagine that these two gigantic explosions do not do well for their morale.
Give me another D10. This time +3. Actually, hold on. Would it even be +3? You don't have any major advantages at the moment. This is just entering the city and massacring them.
George can use Terrifying Presence as he charges in with the amulet active.
Terrifying Presence doesn't really work on ranges this big. Yes, but the problem is, at this range, how visible are you?
I'm a multi-armed centaur knight, screaming while wielding multiple swords and leading a charge of heavy infantry.
You'd be surprised how nonplussed they are about that thing.
So speaking of such things,
Anyway,
what
most of your personal talents and traits and traditions don't really work in field-sized combat.
Okay. Alright.
anyway, so
Anyways,
what's
Been
the number?
influenced by the fact that
you-
they
you-
cannot
you have
get
a-
through my armor. Alright.
You have a larger force than them, but they have defenses, which,
That are
despite
crumbled.
two birdies, the wall interiors and the castle interiors still stand.
Okay, but we have
So
more elite in numbered troops, so
Yeah.
yes, I'll say a
And,
plus. I'll say a +2 total.
Okay. Not even accounting for the fact that they've just seen a weapon they've never
And
didn't even know existed
11.
go off.
all right, and
damn,
they're going to
alright.
roll theirs. Hold on. Do you have spearmen, or you don't do spearmen? Do you?
Depends on what you say they're armed with.
What are your
the
martial
har-
units?
The harpies are archers and scouts. I don't know what they're armed with aside
Mm-hmm.
from bows. The
Bows and spears would be for scouts.
Wolves are probably claws, right?
no, they can be claws, or they could not be savages and have
Swords, wouldn't it?
No, I think
or
they'd
take
have
advantage of their speed and spear people.
to. Well, anyways, hardly relevant now. You take minor losses, but the fort is yours before the day is over.
Oh, we lost the defector. Okay.
How many did we lose out of our total forces?
You have 50 total forces, or you start with 50 total forces. You lost 6 on that.
Holy fuck.
Quite a
Lost 6 against
Well,
10 men with an
12%
So
11.
that was
Army.
51 minus 6 because of the defector.
Yes, that was 51
So we have
minus
45.
6. Yeah,
45.
currently
infantry.
45.
Okay.
In fact, I could just give you a bar, I suppose. There's no need to keep a bar
Would
hidden
be
from
nice, wouldn't it? Give us 2 bars, one for our or 3. How many types of units do we have? We have scouts, infantry, and then wizards. So give
I
us
am
3
not-
bars.
you. I'm not counting the different units any differently. If someone dies, chances are it's not a wizard.
Okay. So it's like toughness.
45.
If we lose so many, then it's a problem.
Okay.
Alright.
Anyways, you
Would
have
make
taken
sense
the
to have
fort.
half this
What
army be only infantry.
you probably more than half, but yeah.
Yeah.
In any case, you have taken the fort, and
Mhm.
I think that's where I should leave it.
Okay.
Wow.
Leave it.
What you
This
find in the fort will be disclosed next session.
Okay.
Assuming you even decide to stay around and loot instead of just
I
charging
would
out.
say no. I think we have to just rush down. This has
Yeah,
to be a lightning bolt.
now that the gate's battered down on this, well, what do we have that can even negate another settlement?
We probably have to do
You have the
some amount.
you have the 2 globes, or you could wait for a shipment of the birdies.
Yeah, shipments
which
are
you
every
will-
day.
You can't produce them
They're
once a day.
weak
They are
behind.
still very yeah, they're still.
No, can't produce them
even-
once a day, but there is a stockpile.
How many would you have stockpiled?
Well, hang on. Let me do
I'd say-
let me do a roll.
Aside from the wedding, he was pretty much at his workshop most of the time.
Pretty much all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. Give me
So, shall we say?
produce one. I'm just
If I-
doing the
I could produce, like,
calculations.
one every
You
couple
would.
of days, like
No, I'm doing the calculations. Doing the calculations. You'd have 10 left in the supply in total.
okay. I've used
Because
up all the
you spent-
prototypes now.
You spent like 12 weeks working on them. You make one a week if you're very fast.
George doesn't sleep or eat.
Yes. So
He literally works non-stop if he needs to work. So, all right. Could I not even influence that with a craft roll? See if there was any more, or see how far off we are from the next few.
well, how many did you bring with the marble? Did you just bring the whole stockpile?
I imagine the whole stockpile's in the marble, yeah.
All right, then you have 10 more left.
Okay. I'll count that as just on my sheet, just for simplicity's sake.
The question is, knowing that you have a few more bombs to use, what do you stay and loot the fortress? Do you keep charging forward?
We would
You
keep charging forward.
We can have the supply corps deal with the fortress.
Yeah, let
Along
the,
with the main
let the
army.
following army.
Yeah, this is the tip of the spear. We can let the Haft do some of the lifting.
Because I'm assuming
And,
the main army, led by either L or Carr, is going to be following up after us.
Yeah, probably lower quality. But
in
massive
that case,
quantity.
give me just a give me a D10 with a -2, and I'll see if you find anything worthwhile in your hurry to get out.
Okay, alright. That's fair.
No.
No, yeah.
No.
Nope.
We're in such a hurry. Our troops are so invigorated by the quick victory that we only take the necessities of food and water for the next bit of the trip.
All right, and I'm gonna call the thing here. Next time, we'll probably finish the war. Quick war, in and out.
Quick war over by Christmas.
Also,
Christmas?
it is rather you are moving at you're moving at very fast speeds considering you did all of that in like a week.
That wasn't even a week.
That was 4 days.
4 days.
I'd say 5 because the fortress
Alright.
assault, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, 5 days, and we took a fort.
Yeah,
on the
about a
front
week.
line.
No,
There is
5
no
days
way
we took
they were
out
expecting this.
we took out their advanced force and the fort.
Yeah, there was no way
There's
they
better
were
rates than
expecting any of
hate.
this.
Yeah.
They were definitely expecting an assault. They just figured they could stall you at the bridge rather than
Yeah, but they were
The,
expecting like
not.
a week, right?
the 10 on your luck really fucking helped you out there.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, right. Let's be fair. The size of these armies, right? They must have been expecting, and the fortresses as well would buy them days. They must have been
Yeah.
expecting like at least 2 weeks.
They were expecting 2 weeks. They were hoping you'd stall for like a month there, but
And it's only been
So
5 days.
yeah.
So the question is,
This was the Ardennes.
obviously we should be going after that one next.
Yes.
But after that, do we go for the city surrounded by river
They have
or Kanta?
Give me a politics check if you want to.
Politics check is Mina's
Yep.
specialty. Watch that also be a. It's mid.
You would know that their strange way of looking at the world and whatnot makes everything divided into threes and whatever. You don't really
So-
care about them, but you would know that they have three. You would know that they have three major.
Yeah.
They have 3 centers of power and a capital in the middle.
So
You could rather
Not a-
quickly get to the capital, but you would
It's
not
not
expect to
taking
be
out
able
their
to take it
power.
with. You would not be able. You would not expect to be able to take it with your current forces, and they would get reinforcements from the other holds of power.
so
So
what I'm
unless you
proposing as
unless you got super lucky, or maybe say popped both your snow globes on the capital, you're unlikely to take it. At least not without taking out at least some of
okay,
their
so-
support first.
all right. So because it was suggested, show of hands, who wants to just pop both super weapons on their capital to wipe it off the board?
I will remind. Hold on, Birdie. I will remind you. The Mega Forge is in the capital. You probably don't want to blow it to shit.
It's not blowing it to shit. It's just a flood and a blizzard in there.
It would
These-
ruin
I would
everything.
say, once we take, Jesus, I can't read it. fucking
Fontella?
colours. Madavelosi,
Oh,
right?
Malevolent.
Then I would say we either do these one or two actions. Either then charge straight across to Cantor and then up to Fontetta and await reinforcements by land and sea and then start sweeping down again. And that would make it a more conventional war. Or we then immediately swing over the river, probably at the crossing, maybe a bit before it, and then we go straight into Momaro and then the capital.
Well, if we take Fontella, which is up in the north, that enables us to get reinforced by naval.
By sea, yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Speaking of, has Arkaine moved, or are they just locked up in combat at their peninsula?
They have been locked in that fucking battlefield for, before you even started the pact with them, right?
Correct, yeah.
Until the repercussions of your actions actually take place, they are unlikely to move.
Okay, so we'll.
They are, however.
Away, then.
Yeah, they are, however, marshalling all of their forces, and once that dam breaks, it's basically over for the compact.
So the alternative is if we don't want to depend on our own naval forces, we find a way to blitz. Fine, you don't want to destroy their capital, but we disrupt their backlines over here. We immediately have Arkaine reinforcements.
That
would take a while.
I will remind you that you technically managed to finagle this into being a defensive war, from what I recall. Somehow, I don't exactly remember how you did it.
Well, to be fair, they did. But it became a defensive war when they tried to arrest the king.
Yes, but should you take any of the coastal cities, you can get the reinforcements from Hagia. As it is what you're owed.
Well, I was expecting River and her forces to be a bit faster. Pirate Queen and all.
Unfortunately for you, you didn't invest a whole lot into your navy, so they are currently busy running supplies rather than running people. You can get them to assault a naval city. However, if you
I want them to transport troops. That's what I'm wanting.
Oh, that if you capture a city without their involvement, you can definitely do that. However, if you want them to be involved, you are if the offensive fails, you are just losing half of your supply train basically.
I'm just drawing possible invasion routes at the moment. I'm theory crafting
from what I recall from information given to Carr, it was essentially assaulting any of the cities of the compact by sea is a retarded move. So any move that we do should be just land invasion and sea reinforcement. That way we're not dependent on this line here maintaining enough that they can't just lock in our reinforcements any choke points again. Opening up as many fronts on these fuckers as possible is the best.
Yeah, we do need a harbor.
Is the height at which a city is stacked implying how important it is?
Yes.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Which is why you have the 3 centers of power, except for the ones that are on rivers, but those are just on rivers because they're on rivers.
I'd like to be on the river.
Get help.
You would die.
Okay, so this one, and this one are
yes.
centers of
those
power?
are the
Yeah,
those
so
are centers
they're
of power.
part of the original nations, which I had the notes here. Ah, there they are. This was the Reverie center power. This is the Android, and over here is Mole.
Yeah, I would argue that these are the routes for invasion. These seem pretty sensible. We want to circumnavigate defenses or natural obstacles wherever possible. So if we were to attack Momaro, we have to avoid the river. We have to go past it, and then.
I will tell you. You should probably expect this bridge to be gone because You don't have eyes on it yet, but you assume they fucking blew it up. Well,
So, yeah, so our alternative is we take a week crossing the long way, or we ford it again.
I would
No.
say when we take this next one, we immediately move again, but then we spend the time to build a bridge and then invade conventionally if we
No.
go across straight to Kanta. Otherwise, we just blitz it. I would argue
Question
that
is,
these
at what
lines
point-
have drawn out. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't think it's necessarily a bygone conclusion that that bridge is destroyed, because until we get to it, it benefits their supplies for it to exist.
And,
Uh,
fact,
and
I'm
it's
s-
also
I'm
dependent
saying
on how
by the-
fast their move.
I'm
their
I'm
move
saying
is.
I'm saying by the time that you take the other fort, they will likely have already gotten rid of it.
We could bypass
It is-
fort at night, I suppose.
You are risking getting rammed from behind, and you saw what happened to you saw what happened to the enemy team when that to the enemy army
Yeah,
when
and George
anyway.
has had
There-
experience
there-
of
there-
being on the losing side of a war before.
yeah
so-
there is very much reasons not to ignore forts is all I'm saying.
Wait, if George's experience in war and losing them, why are we taking his word for it?
We're not.
because he's also won them.
He's not the commander here.
He only really lost the last one.
Actually, no.
Yeah,
he
but that was the
only
most
lost
important
the
one.
first one. And he
Losing
was
the
only a
last
blacksmith
war is the
then.
one that people remember.
That is the one that he lost that he fought in. The other one, he was just a campaign.
All right, so
And they kind of lost his
anyway.
entire homeland.
take care, everyone. I hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
the drama
Yes.
and the minor war.
The drama was a bit much. I was thinking you
Yeah.
would have at least gotten a capital done by today.
I still
Capital
argue that
done.
these invasion routes are pretty.
I said a capital, not
I
the
see.
capital.
Yeah, next
Unless
up we
anyone
should
else-
honest,
march
That's
there.
what you think.